And we are back in Middle Earth. Middle Earth, the Earth in the middle of what we don't know, but we are here and we're about to try to save it because, as always, there's some sort of trouble going on in Middle Earth. And, someone's got to come by and take care of it because, as we all know, Gandalf's busy. Gandalf's busy. Old Lady Brandybuck, if you know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of being busy, I have a couple of players here who are very busy. Busy getting down to the business of saving Lake Town. If not Middle Earth, at least Lake Town. What's up, heroes? What's going on? How's it going? Everybody doing good?
I'm scared.
You're scared?
I'm afraid.
You don't need. No need.
Why are you? What are you afraid of?
Silence afraid of everything.
You got Falco.
Grandma.
You got Falco. You should be good.
Silence afraid of Falco too.
With the bow tie +1 of persnicketyness.
Oh no, that's not a good buff.
It's barely a buff. But we shall see what happens. Thanks so much for joining me again here tonight. And I sort of did that same thing that I've done before, where I omitted to tell the players in which order I was going to announce them. So hopefully Blair will be aware that we are beginning with. How's it going, Blair?
It's going good.
Were you ready for it? Were you ready for it?
I feel like on time for it. I was on time for it.
On time. Nice. Are you going to show us your teddy bears?
Yes! Dun, da, da, da.
Look at that.
Oh, wait, they're blurred out. No, Gandalf. Oh, wait, sorry. I was all up in my mic.
Gandalf
and Frodo.
Frodo.
Teddy bear. Hold
Frodo
on.
bear and Gandalf bear.
Frodo bear, Hobbit bear. The blur doesn't want to allow my... Hold on, here we go. Yay!
You have to put them in front of your face. There you go. Awesome. Fantastic. Just so everybody knows, Christmas is coming up, and I accept gifts. So we're clear.
Yes.
Awesome. Love those bears. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Blair.
Hi, I'm Blair _Canadian Moose all over the place. I am I play Arya, who is a young elf who's just trying to prove herself out in this hard world, and hopefully tonight that'll happen. If it hasn't happened already, I don't know, but my mentor's not here. My mentor hasn't seen any of it, so maybe not. But yeah, we're gonna see what happens to her. Super
if the mentor
excited.
doesn't see it, does it really happen?
Oh my gosh, this is like that tree falling in the woods thing. So true, so true.
If a mine falls in the forest, does anybody hear?
Damn.
What happens if an ant falls in the forest?
Well, first of all, it falls very slowly. It's like, I am falling to the ground.
And then it gets back up.
I am getting back up. I am not a young tree anymore. It is more difficult.
That conversation took 3 days.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks so much, Blair, for being back and for showing us your wonderful bears. Blair and the Bears.
Yes.
There you go. Thanks so much. Next up, we have Annika, who's wearing some flannel tonight in honor of October.
Blair's flannel, obviously. Blair's flannel. We got the flannel notification.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You're flannel up.
I am Annika, and I am wearing flannel. And tonight I am playing Jorah, who's been going through some rough times, having come back home after 3 years. And we're hoping it gets somewhat better because her brother's been kidnapped. And my dog is very upset about it. So she's been very vocal all week, and we just need some resolution. That's all we need.
They'll try to provide you resolution that does not require a funeral. Or 5.
We would appreciate that. You'll be getting some feedback otherwise.
The doorbell rings. Open the door. Who's there? Annika's dog. Thanks so much for, scaring me half to death. And for being here with your flannel on. Next up, with the bow tie of persnicketyness +1, it is Kay.
Fantastic. Hello. Thank you. I'm happy to be here. Maybe I'm still happy to be here, even with the persnicketyness. It's fine. I'm Kay or Caden Cosmos. I am playing Falco Bunsbaggins tonight. He's doing. I think he's doing pretty good. He's definitely felt the shadow, and it's definitely spooked him a bit. But you know, he has some friends.
Mm-hmm. Real friends, imaginary friends.
Oh no.
Yeah. We'll find out tonight. We'll find out.
No.
And last, but definitely not least, the parcel-less JT.
I am parcelist. That's true. Hi, I'm
Too soon?
JT.
Too soon?
No, this has been going on for actual months. I'm JT. You can find me at Weebjeet on the internet. My pronouns are they, them. As Bleak mentioned, I am at war with the USPS, and tonight I will be playing Silent, scholarly elf who's not at war with the United States Postal Services, and is also very afraid of everything.
My question, though, is being at war with the USPS against the Twitch terms of service?
I hope not. I guess we'll
Bezos
find
own
out.
the USPS yet?
No, the USPS is a federal institution. It's owned and run by the
But,
government.
Bezos.
He owns it as much as he owns most of the politicians, probably.
Ooh.
I haven't really looked into his
Incendiary.
super PAC donations.
JT coming in hot with the incendiary comment. We love it. Thank you very much. And thank you all for being here. We will start this little adventure very shortly. A couple other little shout outs to give. And of course, Bleakseason. I will be GMing this little shindig of ours tonight. I do this hand in hand with my good buddy Andy, who is producing. Thank you very much, Andy, for pushing my buttons. The game we are playing is by Free League Publishing. It is Lord of the Rings role-playing for 5e. It's a 5e port of the One Ring. Do check out Free League stuff, awesome stuff. Also do check out Tabletop Audio. Tim at Tabletop Audio makes all the music that we use on our streams. Wonderful stuff, most of it free. A couple bucks their Patreon. Get even more stuff, definitely worth checking out. We'll be using a map tonight made by my good friend Solution Maps. Check out their Patreon, also making tons of awesome content. And finally, if you want to help out the players tonight, get involved in the game, you can donate some bits. For 100 bits, you can buy the player of your choice an advantage to use when the chips are down. Not when the fish is down, just when the chips are down. Finally, who are we? We're Guild Superior. We play games, play tons of games. We've got tons of stuff coming up. I'll tell you about it after the game. Got some charity streams and whatnot coming up. A lot of good stuff. So hang out. I'll tell you all about that. My friends, are you ready for this? Not only the final chapter of our story arc, but the final chapter of the Headless Cross Saga. It's all in your hands now. Since May, once a week, we've been playing, and all of it's now on your shoulders.
Is that all?
Yeah. I'm certain you'll do fine. My friends, you are in Lake Town. When we last left you, you had found out that the town had sort of been taken over by the Headless Cross. They had masked guards that patrolled the city and kept people inside with a curfew. The owner of the inn, who is Jordis, who is Jorah's older sister, informed you that the new master of the town was Jorah's brother, Jordel, who had been elected after the old master died during the spring, and he was simply elected to be sort of master of Lake Town temporarily, but then the Headless Cross showed up. You don't know exactly what the Headless Cross is doing, but they're in Old Esgaroth, the old town that was destroyed by Smog during the Battle of the Five Armies, and you saw that they were definitely at work there. You saw some smoke, you heard some hammering, you saw some scaffolding. There's some stuff going on. No one knows exactly what's happening out there. But for now, you have slipped yourselves down into a boat and managed to stealth your way, not without some hair-raising moments, all the way to City Hall, where you've met Jordell. Along the way, you were spotted. You were spotted by Sklar, who is a local warrior who seems to be in league with the Headless Cross now. He is the one who welcomed you and took your weapons from you at the entrance to the village. So most of your weapons, I think a couple of you managed to squirrel in a knife or something, but most of your weapons are currently held in a locker in the little guard post on the other side of the bridge to the entrance of town. Just a little reminder of that. My friends, you have slipped through the town, found your way to a little, well, I'm not going to say a secret entrance, but an entrance below the dock levels that leads to a little secret room or a little chamber in the city hall where you met Jordell, who welcomed you and gave you the rather dire news that Jorah's youngest brother, Jordan, big family, was taken by the Headless Cross in order to make sure that Jordell and the rest of the town would cooperate. And that is where we left off last time, my friends. You are following Jordell as he's explaining to you that the Headless Cross basically appeared very slowly. At first, it was just a few strangers in town. Then there were more of them. Then they started flexing their muscle. Then it was clear they were doing something in Old Esgaroth. And once the villagers started really being worried and trying to actively find out what's going on, that's when they started muscling their way in, corrupted a number of local people. Some of the already, less than savory characters are in Lake Town, and shanghaied them into being part of their retinue, their guards. You think that the masks are partially to hide the numbers, but also so that the ones that are traitors, the ones who are people from the village, don't have to be recognized and sort of deal with that. And I'll tell you that it was very insidious. Like, it happened very slowly over a period of several months, but then all of a sudden they were here and they kind of took over. Once the town started kind of asking questions and pushing back is when Jordan was taken. That was a couple of weeks ago. He has been assured that Jordan's been fine. He has been given the right to talk to Jordan a couple of times. Jordan does seem to be doing okay, but he's being kept somewhere in Old Esgaroth by them. They have promised that if the people of Lake Town don't do anything to mess up their plans, just let them be and let them do what they're trying to do, that once they're done, they will leave and return Jordan, and Lake Town can go back to being Lake Town. How much or how little you believe that is up to you, but that is what you are being told by Jordell right now. He says that you will be meeting two other people today. One of them is Revna. Revna, Jorah, you would know, is an old hunter and warrior from Lake Town. She was actually at the battle against Smog. She took part in that conflict. She's one of the few that still sort of remain around to talk about that conflict, and she's sort of one of the advisors, if you will, one of the counselors of the city. The other one is Ulrich, who's the keeper of records of the city. He was here also back then. He worked under the old master, but was apparently not corrupted, and helped uncover a lot of the bad things the old master of Lake Town had done before he was killed in the fight against Smog. The second master, who left with most of the treasure that the town had garnered from Smog, had not used him as a keeper of records, and he came back to work after that. So he's sort of free of the taint of the corruption. He's generally considered to be someone of good standing in the town and also a good counselor. I'm sorry, I'm going to cough. And so you find yourselves being taken to a small room in City Hall, and it's very kind of hush hush, where they kind of bring you in and then they check to make sure no one's watching, and the place is kind of dead. Jorah, you would remember certainly back in the day, City Hall was a place where there's always people coming and going. People were coming to get permits, or getting news or spreading news, stuff like that. It was a big board with a lot of information about stuff that was going on. Now everything's empty, everything's kind of quiet, everything's kind of dark. They bring you into the room, and the other two are waiting there, Ulrich and Revna, as you come in, and they seem to have been arguing. When you come in, you can hear their voices kind of, snapping at each other a little bit, and then once the door opens, they kind of both shut up, and both very kind of like, nervous, looking over, and then kind of relaxing a little bit when they see Jordell. And Jordell walks in and says, "It's all right, it's my sister and some friends. I'm not very clear on exactly who they are or how they come to be here, but I think this is a good opportunity for us. It kind of gives you a look. They look rather capable, and, well, the Headless Cross won't necessarily know about them or know they're here. But I wanted to bring them here so that they could, we could find out exactly why they're here, but also explain to them what's going on and see if there's any way they can help us." And as he says that, Ulrich, the record keeper, will say, "There's nothing to help with, Jordell. We've talked about this 100 times. We've gone over it 100 times. There's nothing to do but wait. The last time this village tried to do something, it was destroyed. Hundreds of people died. We don't want that happening again. The best thing we can do right now, just do as they say, keep our heads low. The records are clear. The records tell us exactly what happened and how it happened. We have to heed the warnings of the past." And Revna says, "But that's completely stupid. It's not at all the same situation. They don't have a dragon. They're just a group of jumped up thugs. And if we just band and act together and oppose them, we will be able to take them down. There's maybe a dozen of them in this town. People are just afraid because they wear masks and they're not sure who it is, and it might be their cousin or one of their best friends or something like that. But we don't have a choice. We have to act." And Jordell says, "May I remind you that my brother is prisoner, and if we do something, if we act out, they will very likely kill him." And Revna says, "I'm very sorry about that. I'm very sorry, Jordell and Jorah. I'm very sorry, but what's the life of one person compared to how many dozens or hundreds might die again if these people decide to act out?" Jorah will be like, sorry, give just 1 second. So Jorah will just be like, "Okay, let's just find out. I know we've talked about this in circles. Jorah, what are you doing here? Who are these people? What's going on?"
Well, I think the first thing we should remember is if they're willing to take one child, it's not to say that just letting Jordan go won't prevent the loss of life. And my friends and I are here to help. And so she turns to the group and says, "We were actually initially sent here by the White Wizard, who heard that there may be a threat to Lake Town. And en route, we ran into the elves of Mirkwood Forest and convince their leader to send aid. So help is coming, but I think right now we're still sort of putting it together." And she turns at this point to Aria and Silent. It's like, I mean, you guys have been paying attention. I think you should tell them.
Yeah. Same.
Right. Hello.
Hi.
Silent and my compatriot Aria.
Pleasure to meet you.
Yes, sure.
Introduces everyone again.
Pleasure in probably brighter circumstances at the moment.
And after Jordell introduces his group, Jorah's like, "Oh yeah," and she does the same for her party.
So what do you have to report then?
We have reason to believe that they want something specific with Lake Town. A group like this that's going to take up mantle in a town that doesn't necessarily hold any strategic weight. and has no obvious inclination towards what their plan might be outside of old Esgaroth. They want something that the old master knew about, or that our good current master does, and have taken family hostage to sort of squeeze it out if they might. So we were hoping perhaps you could offer up any information with regards
We
to
don't
that.
know what they want. They've barely done anything in here. They've all been in Old Esgaroth. They've built a palisade around most of it. They're not allowing people in and out. We have no clue what they're doing there. We just know they've been building things. We saw them cut down trees, make planks. We saw smoke. We've heard the work, but we have no clue. They won't talk. They don't tell us anything, and they're not doing anything in Lake Town. They're just keeping us down. They're doing something over there, but we don't know what it is.
Except patrolling, right? They might not be doing anything, but they're
Well, yes, they're trying to
bringing
make
a
sure that no
force.
one, I guess, gets too uppity.
There's always the possibility that we're wrong, but currently their station here doesn't make any sense. If anything, they ought go up to the Lonely Mountain, or even further, or wherever their primary headquarters would have been. But again, just a theory, an idea. We wouldn't have come here if not for the desire to help.
But
Question.
who are these people? Are they seem to be criminal thugs, but
They're
that he looks at Falco, is that funny somehow?
Talking about us? As the
No,
thugs?
I'm talking about
okay.
the Headless Cross.
Okay, I was like, why are you calling me a
They-
thug? I got lost.
they're a fanatic cult. They're trying to resurrect an old necromancer who is currently taken up resident in one of their leaders' bodies.
So if he's in someone's body, why do
They want a more powerful vessel, one capable of containing his power. You can see why the crossroads of our confusion meet here, based on what we know and what you know.
I just can't think.
You have records of everything that was taken from Smog, correct?
Well, a good chunk of it, Ulrich, the records. We do have quite a number of records of things, but some of the things were lost during the battle. Some of the things are still at the bottom of the lake. The dwarves kept some. It's definitely not a complete record in any way, shape, or form. Jorah, are you all right?
Well, I know I had a few drinks earlier, but this idea I had is suddenly not seeming such a bad idea. You don't think they would want to use the body of a dragon for a body, right? That's not possible. That's not a thing, right? And like, because of her complete lack of magic knowledge, she's like, that's not a thing. Right.
They all look really kind of like,
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, there's no way.
I don't.
that. How would that be even? No, that can't be it.
Well, I mean, they were able to wrench their lord's soul from an amulet and put into a person. It's really not a far leap from there, is it?
Let's just entertain the
There's
idea.
a horror on their face right now. Like,
Let's just say that that's what they're doing. Why, Jorah, why would they take your brother then? Is that the only person that they've taken?
Yeah,
that's
that's why it doesn't make sense.
Well, Revna will say, my feeling was that they wanted to make sure that they spent some time here and saw that people listened to Jordell, and they figured if they could make Jordell say what they wanted, people would listen. But if they took too many people, it might upset the people. It was delicate balance for them to play with, because I don't think there's many of them. I think they're a fairly small number. They look like there's many of them because they're well organized and they hide their faces, but I don't think there's that many of them. And I think I keep saying the same thing. If we all rise up, if we all organize together, we can easily overcome them.
Dora,
That point.
Yeah,
I-
you're right, because I just did the math. There's not enough people to carry a body of a dragon. You'd need more people.
I have a question. To just because I think also that capturing your younger brother was a political move, and not like using his body to get possessed or whatever. But like, is he like a cool kid? Like, is he super smart? Is he special in any way?
No, he's a pain in the ass.
Okay, so it's probably just maybe he's annoying them right now.
He
I
I mean,
probably
he
is.
always annoys you, Jordell, because you don't know how to have fun anymore.
Well, I'm sorry if I have responsibilities, Jorah.
Yeah, I think you and Silent should hang out sometime. You'd have so much fun.
Oh, that was
Can
good.
I
That was a good
pitch
one.
in an idea that I'm going to regret pitching after hearing Jorah's current approach to this?
Please.
Hypothetically, if you guys were to say, I don't know, rally the town whilst we were foolishly and to our great detriment sneaking into their fort and getting your brother out, if we could, I might be able to etch some runes down and make us a little flare of some sort once we've got him out and safe, at which point you may start the well, I don't want to say crusade because it's not necessarily holy in nature. Start the crusade against the Headless Cross, taking great care to arrest townspeople rather than outright killing them, just for the sake of the fact that they probably don't know any better right now.
Jardel sort of goes around and sits down heavily on the desk. And he looks like he's really thinking hard about this. Ulrich says, look, I've talked to a lot of the people here. I'm constantly in touch with everyone. People are not interested in reliving what we went through with Smog. People don't want to see their town destroyed again. People don't want to see their loved ones killed. If there's a chance that this can end without any bloodshed, with us just keeping our heads down and letting them finish whatever dark business they're onto, then that is what I believe we should do, and that is what I think most people here want. And Revna says, but they're only thinking that because that's what you're telling them. You're so afraid of the past. You're so afraid of what's in your little books, your little writings, your little notes. You were there and I was there. You know what it was really like. You know that it wasn't a matter of choice. You know that it wasn't a matter of not doing the right thing. We did what we had to do. No one chose to fight Smog. Smog came at us because of the actions of others. Now we're living through the exact same thing. Del, you have got to give us the word to rally people. We can start doing it quietly. Ulrich says, no, we can't do that. We can't read the books. It is clear what happens when we do that. We don't want to do that.
You've got to be the worst record keeper I've ever met.
No, that's my job, to keep the records and to remember what happened and not to go down and make the same mistakes that we've made before in the past.
But you're not learning from it. You're hiding from it. You're
But there's
allowing it to
nothing
happen
to
again.
learn. There's
I was gonna
nothing
say-
to, we just know. This tells us that this is what will happen. We are not warriors. We are fishermen.
Right, but your
Wow.
plan to make sure that the time that we didn't make a plan and it had backfired on us is to still not make a plan?
Jorah,
At some point, we should make a plan.
you haven't even lived here for, how long have you been gone now? Years. I don't think you have any sort of authority to tell us how to run this city or not.
I think she's got more right than any of you cowards at this point, at any rate.
Revna laughs. I like this one. He's got spunk.
I'm just saying, if you're going to keep records and you're not going to learn from them, why are you keeping records at all? You're ashamed to the position of scholar. She's right. This is exactly what happened last time. What do you think is going to happen if they take their little leader and put it in a dragon at the bottom of the lake?
That's
What's going to
ridiculous.
happen
They're
to
not
this
gonna
town?
do that. They're
You
not going to
should
do
listen to him.
that.
He's
Smog
older
is
than
dead.
us.
He's bones in the bottom of the river.
Their leader is a necromancer.
He turns to Jordell and goes, Dell, it's your decision. You're the master. People elected you for a reason. And Jolly's like, I know. You also know I didn't want this position. I'm just not willing to risk Jordan's life. If there is a way that we can do this and let this become somebody else's problem later, I can't risk Jordan's life.
I have a suggestion for perhaps using part of the town, but not in a non-violent way, very much a shire way. I think maybe you could have a party. We can extricate Jordan out, and like during a big festival, everyone's going to want to come out. Everyone who lives in the town is going to want to be in town for it. And then maybe some of the guards might also go there.
It's like a hobbit to want to have a party when
it's always time for a party, but okay.
We could. This batch is done, and Jorah jingles her brewing backpack and the bottles merrily. Ka-ding, ding, ding, ka-ding, ding, ding.
Also, off of what Silent just said, that's more of a plan than you have, so.
Bad plan is still a plan.
All right, well, in any case, we can take some time and think about it. Can maybe try to gather some more information now that you're here. Maybe you can try to get some information out of the guards that are here, try and find out what's going on there. As he says that, you start hearing large, like cracks, like very loud, reverberating, kind of in the distance, like a very large snapping crack. And then another one and another one. You hear people outside start kind of wondering what's going on. The cracks get closer and closer, and some of you will realize when it's the sound of ice that's cracking. People outside are starting to kind of get agitated. Ulrich says, what the hell is going on? He goes to the window. Revna says, we may not have as much time as you thought, Jordell. You're going to have to make a decision sooner than you think. And she runs outside to kind of see what's going on. Jordell looks at you, Jorah, and goes, what's happening? What is it? What's happening?
It sounds like ice breaking.
I know, but he leaves. He starts running outside.
Is that normal?
Only when something bad's about to happen. She runs out after her brother.
Giant body in the lake.
When you get outside, the first thing you realize, the temperature has gone up. You can see that steam is rising off the ice, and to you, Jorah, it kind of looks like, you know, in the spring when the thaw is about to start happening. You can see steam rising off the ice, and sort of everywhere, ice is cracking and then moving as it's melting. It's moving, and it's the sort of giant floating pieces of ice that are crunching against each other and rising up and breaking. That's creating that snapping sound. And you can see that the steam is rising and the heat is sort of rising. The snow's melting off the side of the buildings, and you can see from Old Esgaroth, there's kind of a strange glow that's enveloped the place, and there's more smoke that's kind of rising in the air. And there's a lot of sounds that are coming from there, including a bell that keeps ringing intermittently.
We should go.
Go where?
Where's Jordan?
Well, we don't know. They have him somewhere in Old Esgaroth. People are starting to kind of like come up, and they're kind of starting to crowd Jordell, and they're like, oh, what's going on? What's happening? And Ulrich and Revna are kind of trying to calm them, but they're doing opposite things Ulrich is saying, like, calm down, everyone, calm down, stay calm, go back to your homes. We'll sort this out. And Revna is like, now's the time to move. Now's the time to do something. Get your weapons, get your things. And you can see on the outer edges, there's a number of guards that are starting to approach, a number of the guards from the Headless Cross that are starting to kind of crowd in, and the ice is still kind of melting and crashing against each other.
Should we get people out of the city?
If something is happening that we've been discussing, this town is going to be leveled in a matter of seconds, probably minutes. Well, maybe minutes, maybe an hour. I don't know. The point is, we need to do something. Jorah, can you talk to them?
Well, what do we want to say? Do we wanted a party, and what do we want first? And then maybe I'll say something.
Maybe the party can come after this. No offense,
All right.
Falco. It's a
Jeez,
good
okay.
idea.
I wasn't expecting the ice to be melting, so yeah, I think plans change. Bad plans change into good plans, and good plans come from Jorah. So
And
come
so
on.
Jorah kind of suddenly turns to music in this moment and quietly says, "We believe in fellowship." And like in the chaos, at first the notes don't sound right, but as she continues on the line, "Oh, we believe in friendship," the people around her are starting to recognize the song, having been created in this town by her grandmother who just passed away. And then with the next line, a few people join her. "If you care to lend a hand, we'll never disband. And if you're ever in a jam, we'll come with some cram." And kind of with that tune as a rallying cry, she knows she has the attention of everyone, and she just says, "One of our worst fears may be coming true. So if you have ever loved my family and you have believed in Jordel's leadership, you will listen to him now." And with that, she turns to Jordel and she says, "Jordel, these people's lives are in your hands, and Jordan is a brother we both love, but there are more here that you need to think about. So I trust your wisdom in this decision and know that if there's anything I can do for Jordan, I will do that part."
And you see, like, he's definitely kind of conflicted, and you can tell that he's having a lot of difficulty making this decision. And you kind of feel that maybe, well, in fact, you're not going to feel that. He kind of leans in close to you and he says, "You abandoned us once before, Jorah. How can I trust that you're going to take care of Jordan this time?"
When the girl you knew left this town, she didn't know her place in this world. But thanks to a really wise woman, she's learning what it means to be a leader. And everything I know about leadership, I learned from you.
It was a different time, different stakes. How many barrels of ale to order is not the same as ordering a bunch of people to rise up against armed criminals, especially when the life of your younger brother is hanging in the balance.
The love we feel in our hearts is as strong no matter what the task is.
Well, you have friends that can do this with you.
You should see REA, and there's no doubt.
Okay, we're a group. We're group strength, yes.
Oh, no, you carry pretty much the primary strength of our little gangle here.
She's too modest.
All right. Go, we'll try to buy you some time and some cover. He turns around and starts telling the people, "Everyone, we need to move quickly. We need to act fast. We need to leave this city. Get your family. Get only the most important things that you need. We need to evacuate." And he starts giving orders. "Go up, ring the bell. You go and do this." And he starts kind of ring people around. And then he grabs a couple of, some of the more sturdy men and women that are around him. And he says, "My sister and her friends are going to need to get out of the city. Can you help them out? Create a distraction, something?" And one of them says, I think I might have an idea or two." And so the lot of them will sort of disperse and will start creating a problem. They'll find a couple of the guards from the Headless Cross. They'll push one into water, the other ones will start coming at them. This big brawl starts out on one of the decks. You can tell that some of the Headless Cross guys are people from the village because they're kind of pulling their blows and they're not trying, but some of them are clearly like bad guys, and some people are getting stabbed and whatnot. So there's like this huge melee that starts up somewhere near the center of the village in their little market area kind of thing. That's happening, and everyone's attention is kind of drawn to it. Most of the people are trying to run home to get their family to get down. Their bell starts ringing, you know, the evacuation bell, the ding, ding, the ding, ding. You were maybe too young, Jorah, to really remember the first time this happened, but it's clear in the eyes of a lot of the people that like there's a trauma that's being relived here with sort of what's happening. One of the things that people have really kind of gotten afraid of course, is fire, and a lot of their improvements to the city have been in ways to combat fire and make sure that fire didn't spread again. And even now that there's no fire anywhere, you can see that people are already kind of like putting some of these things, like they've got hoses with water and they're already like just it's just that old trauma is kind of settling in. But as this is happening, you can kind of see that you have an opportunity to slip out. So you have a couple of opportunities here. You can head to the front bridge to try and cross it and get to the shack to maybe get your weapons. You could try and find a couple of pieces of weapon that might have fallen in the melee around, but it's clear that most people don't have their weapons out here. You could get down on the ice to try and get to Esgaroth right away. What do you want to do?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is any of the brawling like close enough, or maybe like on the way out? If we're, could I pick up a mask?
Give me
or a number of masks if there's some close, but
I don't know about a number. All right.
Okay.
I definitely think you could probably get your hands on one, but let's do this. Let's see what you have. Let's see what you have. Blair, you have. Go ahead and there, give me an investigation roll, okay? I know it's not one of your best skills, but I want it to be a little kind of difficult because to get a number of masks, like I will say that you'll be able to get one, all right?
Okay.
But give me an investigation roll, and depending on how well you do on that, you may be able to get some more.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. 11.
11.
Not that great.
Not that great. I'll tell you what. I'll say you managed to get 2 of them.
Okay.
Okay. So in the middle of melee, you get some people, some of them, the guys have dipped out. It's like, hey, it's me, Bob. Don't, you know, like sort of thing, and they're throwing them down. And others, people are like, who are you? And before they want, you know, they rip off the mask, see if they should stab the guy or just kind of, you know, like wrestle him down or something. So you managed to get 2 of them. To get more, you'd have to spend more time here and kind of get closer to the melee and stuff. And you just figured that maybe it's not the best idea, but you do manage to get 2 of them.
Cool.
And do we see our tall friend who took our weapons, or the area where the weapons are kept? How's
No,
that looking?
you do see the area where the weapons are kept. It's easy. You just go straight out towards the main bridge that leads into town. You can see that there's a couple of guards there. You don't see Skrull anywhere. Sklar, sorry, you don't see him.
Yeah.
You remember that he saw you earlier, right? And he didn't say anything, but he did see you when you were slipping by on the boat.
I mean, I can run and try to get everyone's weapons and then meet up with you somewhere else if you want to get started going, or I don't know.
It's too dangerous for us to split up now. If we're going, we go together.
Well, everything seems like it wants to be on fire, so let's get some weapons so we're on fire.
All right, so you're going to head towards the guard shack?
If Mapati agrees.
All right, so you start heading out there. As you're heading out, Falco, you're kind of trailing a little bit behind, you know, shorter legs and whatnot. At some point, you pass by the inn, the Jorah's family's inn. And you can see Jorah's sister, Jordis, is in the in the doorway and is sort of looking at what's going on. And when you pass it, she kind of grabs you by the shoulder. She goes, "What's going on?"
So something bad is happening. You should probably get out of town while you can get any valuables. We're going to go rescue Jordan, ideally, and you should be safe. You should get out of here.
You're going to rescue. You don't even have any weapons.
Oh, I have one. But we're going to go to the rack.
The Garchak.
Yeah, the Garchak. The Sklar was at.
Love shack. You can see like something goes on behind her eyes, and she's like, "If you're going there, would you mind doing me a favor? Sklar took something from me. I'd like to have it back." And she will describe to you a necklace. And she'll say, I have no clue. Maybe he has it on him. Maybe he's got it hidden somewhere else. But she'll describe it kind of in detail. She'll say, if you see it, could you take it, please, and bring it back to me after this is all done?
Take it.
It's a long story. There's just, it's too long a story to get into now, and not something I want to get into. But if you could, please, if you see it, like, don't put yourself at risk for it. But if you see it,
okay.
If you could bring it back to me after all this is done, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. But you gotta get out of here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go find my brother and see how I can help.
Okay.
Good luck and take care of my sister and my brother, will you?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll try to tell her where Jordella is.
Thanks.
Okay, be safe.
She'll run off. So the lot of you have arrived at the bridge. So there's like one main bridge that arrives here. There's a little guard shack. There's two guys there. There's kind of nothing going on here. You can sort of hide behind one of the buildings and kind of take keep an eye on sort of what's going on. You notice that Falco is kind of coming up behind you, panting and running up, being a bit late. But yeah, so that's where you see around. You're laying there. You see a bridge. You see two guards. They're kind of talking, like they seem not sure what they should do. One of them points to old Esgaroth. The other one's kind of shaking his head and he's pointing back towards the town. And they kind of do seem to be having a bit of a conflict or difficulty making a decision. What would you like to do?
Well, we're here, and it seems like we need weapons and information. So I wonder if one of us should try to talk to these guys and see what they're talking about, while the other one sneakily breaks in and gets our crap.
I can sneakily break in and get your crap.
And I have
Nothing
these.
if not a talker.
I give one of the masks to Silent.
Oh. And how about I'll keep an eye out, and if something seems weird, I'll just go, ah, ah, ah.
Oh, good, yes.
How
Ah,
realistic
yes.
does that sound?
That one probably not.
That's a nice tail to
gonna say.
swallow, that one.
Yeah.
If you were drunk, it would pass.
Okay. But what about my pipe weed? Is it enough?
Is your pipe weed enough?
Yeah, to make it pass?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's great. Wow. Jeez, you're really good.
All right, so give me so two of you are going to wear the masks and approach the guards. Falco, give me a stealth check if you would. Meanwhile, the other two of you you approach, and one of them's like, we should go to Old Esgar, man. This place is done anyways. Who cares about this? You heard it. They rang the bell. It's about to go down. Whatever the boss is doing, we should head down there. It's like, no, are you crazy? If we lose this place, the boss is gonna tan our eyes. We don't know what's going on down there. For all you know, it might be the freaking dinner bell, and then the boss is gonna come up here, and this place is fucking up in flames. And it's not you know how she gets. I don't want to get on her bad side. And so they're having kind of that discussion. What would you like to do as you approach?
Excuse me, men, what exactly are you doing here? An entire brawl has broken out in the center of town, and you're just standing here like there's nothing going on? No alarm bells been rung?
Well, what are you doing here?
Came to get you. I saw you slacking. We're headed back to Esgaroth for the boss to report back on this. She'll want to know, of course, and unless you're going to go back for me, you should go help quell the townsfolk. No?
I don't know. It's like, it's what I've been telling you, man. We gotta make sure this place stays, secured. Go ahead, mein Freund, and give me a persuasion roll. And I will say that your friend Arya is helping you.
Yeah,
So
I was trying to look like as like tough in the background. It's like
With advantage, I rolled a 4 and a 19. I quite like the 19.
The 19 probably sounds like a thing. One of them's like, yeah, man, I tell you, we gotta go. We gotta take care of this. And one of them just turns and kind of takes off. And the other one's kind of hesitating. And he's like, are you sure? Where's Sklar? Did you talk to Sklar?
Sklar is in the fray already. Sklar is on top of it, that one.
Damn it. All right, look, just don't tell Asford that I was slacking off. Like, I was just confused. I just wanted to make sure I did the right thing, All right, thanks.
It's sealed.
You're a pal. And he takes off running after his buddy back into the town. Meanwhile, stealthily, what did you get?
I got a 15.
Well, that's pretty good. So you managed to kind of slip in behind the guard shack. There's shutters for a window. You open them. You peer inside. You see nothing. No one, I should say.
Okay.
You climb through the window. You do notice that there's a couple of sort of weapon racks, and they're kind of chained, closed off. You do spot, your things and a couple of the others things. And there's a couple other cabinets also that have padlocks. What would you like to get up to?
Oh man, all sorts of things. Well, first, my weapons that were taken kind of sucked, so I'm just gonna go for everyone else's stuff first, and then I'm interested in those padlocks. But time is of the essence. But a little fun can be had.
Okay, so give me a sleight of hand check to see how you fare with the locks.
Yeah, I want. Can I do an inspiration, s'il vous plaît?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okie dokie. So, a sleight of hand, you said. So that is a 17 plus 8, which is 25, I think.
Pretty good. So none of these locks will give you any trouble. So I will say that you can easily find everyone's gear. If there's anything else you would like to find and hope that would be in here, with your roll being pretty high, I will tell you that you can ask, and we'll see.
The
if you find
Twilight
it.
Keep?
Huh?
The Twilight Keep?
No, it's not here.
Damn.
Twilight Keep is currently in the time frame. The Twilight Keep has been brought back to its place of origin and placed back by the other group from the prior game. They've already brought it back to where it was found and put it back in by this point in the story. Good try, though.
Thanks. I thought I could win D&D finally, but
The other group screwed you. You're going to have to find him and shank him.
Okay. I want to find a juicy diary for Silent, and then I would also like to find, I don't know, is there a cool weapon, something shiny that someone left?
Well, go ahead and don't you have like a special talent thing to find treasure?
Oh yeah, the treasure hunter stuff, huh?
Yeah.
What is it?
I don't know, but I do believe you have one of your powers allows you to. Maybe you didn't take that particular. Oh, you took tree climber and all that, so maybe you don't have it.
I don't know.
All right. Well, you are still a treasure hunter, so I will say, give me an investigation roll, and let's see if you find anything of interest.
That is 22.
That is pretty nice. Give me a D6 roll.
That's a 2.
So You find a sword that just sort of yells at you like, hey,
Look at me.
look at me. I'm pretty nice, aren't I? So it's a regular sword. It's not a short sword or anything. It's just a sword.
Sword.
A sword. Do you pick it up?
Yeah.
All
Jeez.
right. So go ahead and give me a saving throw. Charisma.
That's what I thought. Sweet.
It's just every relic that you find, that's unfortunately what happens in this game.
That was a 6.
That was a 6. You have a bonus as a hobbit against shadow, though, don't you?
Oh, is this count as shadow?
You have advantage.
Yes. Oh, that's 16. That's 10 better.
All right. So you take 1 point of shadow.
Okay. And a little possessed, maybe?
No, you're not possessed
Yet.
yet. You're not possessed yet, but early days. Give me a second. All right. You find
Dun, dun, dun,
a
dun.
sword. Give me a quick old lore roll.
I don't think I have a bonus to that. Oh, I do have a little one. That is a 9.
All right. So you have no clue who made it or where it comes from.
Sweet.
You grab it. I will tell you that you definitely feel it is enchanted in some way. It feels very light and kind of, nice to handle. I will tell you that it has +1 to hit and damage.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll tell you that for now, and then I'll tell you the rest
Okay.
if and when.
And is the necklace here or is it on Sklar?
You don't find it.
Okay.
I will tell you just so that later when I ask about it, you can remind me which item I gave you. The sword you have is called Ghost of the Morning.
Ooh. Morning, M-O or M-O-U?
Why
I
choose?
don't know.
Exactly. So your character doesn't know that because you failed your old lore,
Yeah.
but I'm just telling you so that later when you're like, what does my sword do? And I'm like, what's the sword I gave you? You can tell me.
Awesome.
Okay. Anything else you want to do while you're in here?
Graffiti. Just a little bit.
No problem. Falco was here.
Falco Bunce was here.
Shire calling.
Yeah.
A lot of you are outside thinking it's taken Falco a hell of a lot of time. And just as you're about to reach for the door opens and there's Falco with his pipe and the weed coming out. And he's got like 7 or 8 different weapons sort of just on his back.
All right, here, this is for you, and this is for you, and then this is for you.
You see all this happening, Annika, and you can kind of trot on over if you want.
Oh, those guys are gone. You did a good job.
So you will manage to get back all your stuffs. Those of you within this two tie will notice that Falco has a huge sword on his back.
Nice new blade.
Yeah, thanks. I found it.
It's just lying there.
It was lying
Right.
there. Or what? Well, I was locked up for a bit.
Well,
Wouldn't that
it was
be
locked up for a hobbit. It's just lying there.
Wouldn't that be somebody from the city's weapon?
Could it be Sklar's?
I guess I don't know, but I mean, I think in this instance, I would hope they understand, and maybe if they need it back, they'll say something.
In times of emergency, terms of law are typically suspended for the time being as to accommodate the town's needs during an emergency.
There, that's the scholarly answer I was looking for.
Falco, was that your plan to borrow the weapon?
Yeah. I'll definitely come back to Lake Town real soon.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Yeah. Okay.
Well, we will. We're bringing the boy back.
Hopefully.
Yeah, and then I'll return this sword then, unless that person. Never mind. Let's just go.
That's actually the next arc is us raising Jordan.
Exactly.
We have the sword still.
You will make your way towards Old Asgard, which is a little bit further south. It'll take you maybe like, 15 minutes or so to get there. At first, you're kind of trying to be careful so that people from Old Asgard don't see you, but you don't you don't really notice any guards or anything like that. Like, there's definitely something happening. The issue with the water has kind of stalled a little bit. There's still a lot of steam rising, but the ice has kind of stopped melting, and it's kind of better it is. So there seems to be kind of a lull of activity, but you clearly sense that there's stuff going on in town. You can hear a lot of clanging, banging around. There's still smoke sort of rising and all that. You will eventually arrive at a town that, I'm not gonna lie, it's a little depressing. You approach this town, and it's strange because it is so similar to the one you just left, because they rebuilt it to be very similar to the one, but it is devastated. Most of the houses are just, burnt down wrecks. A lot of them are half sunk in the water. The ice has overtaken a lot of the walkways and a lot of the homes and whatnot. It's really kind of like seeing the ghost of the town you just left. And it really does kind of fill you a little bit with a sense of dread, because in some ways you're kind of hoping you're not seeing a vision of the future of what's going to happen again to the other town. I will ask you all to make a wisdom saving throw against Shadow at this point, to see if the Shadow manages to sort of take a little bit of a foothold.
Jorah got 17.
It'd be
17.
22 for Silent.
Ooh, 12 for REA.
Arya, unfortunately, with a 12.
Ew.
You feel a little bit of that dread, a little bit of that doubt seep into you. And you take a point of shadow, unfortunately, as this cold hand kind of, and you think to yourself, well, our mentors aren't here. They're the champions. They're the real heroes. We're squires. What are we doing here? How are we going to help these people? And are these people raising a freaking dragon? Like, so all these things just kind of wash over you, and suddenly you feel a little bit of fear, and you feel a little bit of doubt in your heart, and it kind of takes a little foothold.
Yeah, I think like how that like translates to the rest of you guys is probably RA just like mumbling these like questions under her breath, just kind of like, if a wizard sent us here, why did the wizard not know that a dragon was going to be raised? Like, wouldn't a wizard know that? The wizard, like, just all of these kind of like why were we not better prepared for this? Like, why are the people that were supposed to be with us not with us? So just kind of like a lot of like doom spiraling, but out loud. So.
And after a while, Jorah reaches behind her, and you hear and then a bottle appears. Nobody has the answers, but we have each other.
Yeah, sure.
I don't.
Scream, drink.
Why are we distributing alcohol before a very important mission?
For confidence.
And friendship.
And
she offers one to Silent and Falco.
Why do you keep offering me these? I don't. No thanks.
Because wouldn't you be sad just a little bit if one of us doesn't survive today and you didn't share one with us? You could just have a sip. We won't tell your friends.
Not gonna answer that question. I don't.
That's all right, Silent. I'll drink it for you. And then she downs it for him.
Seems like a bad idea.
It's not a terrible bad idea. It does give you a little bit of oomph and courage. Doesn't cure your shadow, though, unfortunately. But Tastes
That's
good.
fair. Oh, nice.
You'll find that because of the activity in town and the bell that keeps ringing and all that, the walls are not manned. So it's easy to get into the city. Now, once you get into the city, there are still guards that are patrolling around and whatnot. There seems to be a kind of central area that is away from where a lot of the work and the noxious fumes and all that are coming. I will ask you to do a couple of things. One, I'll ask you what you want to do and how you want to go about this, but generally speaking, it's probably going to require some stealth rolls, but also some investigation rolls to see if you can kind of try to figure out where Jordan might be held. But if you have any skills or any powers or anything that you want to do that might help you in either of these, please go ahead and make your plan. So you're going to need to be sneaking through the city, trying to avoid the patrols and the guards, and trying to find out where Jordan might be. Anyone have anything to bring to the table?
Yeah,
What did you two learn from talking to the guards?
oh, they didn't say anything useful. They were too busy arguing.
We heard the leader's name. We didn't know that, right?
I think we heard that she was a she. I don't know if she had a name drop. Did she?
Asked for it.
Yeah.
Hmm,
We
Good catch.
Oh,
And you know who we
Astrid.
forgot, right? You have two friends with you.
Oh,
Right.
well, yeah,
right.
and that's why I was kind of confused. Isn't Asperth one of the names that was with
Oh.
us?
No, Arianthe is with you.
Arianthe.
And,
Arianthe, oh, thank God.
Elantir.
I was like,
And I just completely, I always do that. I always forget the freaking NPCs. But they are with you. They would have gone with you throughout all this. I'm sorry, I completely forgot a minute. Sorry?
I was looking at the notes about Asfred, everyone, and Asfred was the barding, not bardling, but barding that was like, did the Twilight Keep? She's the one that's possessed. We know that.
Oh.
we didn't know that.
okay.
Good
So
notes.
this is us coming together, though. She's here and she's doing the thing. Okay, all right.
They're performing a ritual of some kind. I would imagine if they're doing something here, Jordan is there. And, two birds, one stone. If we could disrupt the ritual and get your brother out.
Arianthe will say we're still operating under the idea that they took Jordan for some odd reason for this ritual thing, but I don't know. Like it really sounds to me like
Not necessarily. We're off that idea at the moment. I think maybe they would probably just keep him close for the sake of, sneaky buggers like us. Or perhaps I'm assuming the enemy is far smarter than they are.
Well, it depends on if the leader made the plan or she had one of her lackeys do it.
What if? So we have two masks, right? So we could do like oh, hey, the fight broke out in town and it's these four that did it. We're adding them to the spot where we keep the other prisoner. Remind us where that is? Or, like a better way of phrasing that, but
Oh, yeah. I mean, you have me. I mean, if they took Jordan to keep Jordell in line, it's not to say they wouldn't think to take another.
And Arianthe will say if we wear the mask from the guards in town, the guards in town might not know. So
right?
it's not a bad plan. Good idea there.
And if we need more masks, we can just take out a few more guys here.
Well, so let's do a thing. Give me a stealth check, like a group stealth check to begin with. Okay. And then once that's done, give me a group perception check.
I could do the perception,
Okay.
because it's just one of us rolls, right? For group stuff.
No, usually when I do group stuff, it's everyone rolls and the
Everyone.
majority of you have to have a success.
Well, par for the course, Jorah's not stealthy and got a 13.
I got a 24 on my stealth and then a nat 20 on the perception,
Oh,
which
nice.
you could probably tell from my face and body.
That's also going to be nat 20 on perception, and then a 16 for stealth.
So my stealth was a 9, but my perception was a 18.
And Jura, on your perception?
22.
So, as half of you failed the stealth check and the others didn't roll that well. As you're going through the town, your perceptions with the plus 20s all died, you'll notice something, that the guards in town are now wearing the same getup as the guards in Old Esgaroth. They're now wearing the same getup as the guards in Lake Town. They are wearing a kind of mask too, but it's a bit of different type of mask. I will put here, if you look at the Owlbear, Owlbear one, so you can get a sense of what the ones here look like. So they're still wearing a kind of cowl over their head, like a mask over their head. But it's different. It's not like a full face metal mask like the other ones were wearing. The garb they're wearing is all very similar and feels very cultish and ritualistic to you. Like they all have the same colors and they all have certain symbols and things on them. So you're really kind of feeling the cult aspect kind of shining through on this.
I want to ask Galantil, did they look like that when you were still with them?
No, this is a new thing. One of the things, the group used to be just a bunch of random treasure hunters, and this is something that started happening. At first they wanted people to wear a certain badge, and you had to get the scarred, and you had to, and it just kind of grew, and it just felt to me like a way of indoctrinating people, right? You bringing them into making them believe the cause, a lot more. So, but this is brand new. We didn't get dressed up like doped up harlequins back in my day.
Yeah, trying to get people to drink the cool ale.
Yeah, that's right.
Atrocious, thank you.
But yeah, however, your stealth checks weren't that great. So at some point, as you're kind of sneaking through the town and you're kind of like stopping and saying, oh, look, they're wearing, someone will come up behind you and you'll hear a voice coming up behind you, go, the hell are you doing here? Where'd you come from? And when you turn around, and some of you are wearing the masks, it'll be like, what's going on back there? What's all that ruckus that we're hearing? And it's one of the guards, and he's just, kind of patrolling, doing arounds. And he surprised you, but two of you are wearing the masks, so you probably have an opportunity here to try and bamboozle him.
I'm gonna immediately
Who's wearing
look
the mask?
tough again. Oh, I assumed it was the same too,
Okay.
but that's just me.
Yeah, if nobody asked Silo to take the mask off, he probably forgot he was wearing it.
Kind of comfy. I think everyone will be wearing them in the future.
Oh no. Arya's just gonna look tough again.
Hello. We come with news to report from New Esgaroth, New Lake Town. A couple ruffians here were making a ruckus up in the town, sort of trying to remove our iron tight grip on it. So I have brought them down to be handled. But as it found out, this one here related to the other one that we have. So, fresh leverage, new leverage. I thought that Asfred would be quite chuffed with that. So we're taking a chance with our position here. We're still quite new, as it were. But, we're putting our names on the map, come to give a report.
Great plan, Timothy, and Arya's gonna give you a smack on the back.
Gonna leave a mark.
Great plan. And Jorah's trying to play into the sulking prisoner.
So here's the thing. I would like you to begin by giving me an insight check.
I could, yeah.
Just one? Or both?
Yeah, just one, basically.
Lost my die.
Whoever's got the highest bonus, give me a straight up insight check.
I got a
Plus
+2.
7.
Oh,
Yeah, see, there we go.
okay. You go.
Yeah, I also have a 7, but I think you should do it.
Yeah, we're looking at a hot and fast 26 on that one.
So thankfully, once you were cooking up this scheme, you remember to have all the prisoners give you all their weapons, so that they're not all armed to the teeth right now as you're trying to sell this salad. So good on you. Next up, I want you to give me a deception check, and I want Arya to give me an intimidation check.
Okay, okay. +0, let's go.
That's going to be a 16 on that one. Plus-
That's gonna be a. Oh wait, can I use my one advantage for the
You want to
day?
blow it on this? You sure?
Well, now that you said it like that, I don't know. Yes, I will, cause I got a 5 on that.
Okay,
first
go
one.
for it.
Hey,
And a
come
reminder
on.
that in the future you have to declare your use of advantage.
Oh,
while you roll.
that's. I can stick with that. I can just stick with a
It's
5.
Okay, I said you could do it, so you can do
Okay.
it. Cool.
Okay. I'm using my Kian dice. Come on, Kian.
He can't watch tonight.
But they gave me a 19, so.
All right, so you can tell that he's buying it. Like, your story is plausible, and then he kind of gives Arya a bit of a wide berth. He looks a little intimidated. He'll come over to Jorah and he'll kind of look up and he goes, "Yeah, you do look like him. Are you as fucking annoying as he is?"
I don't know. Are you as
He's a
fucking
right little
stupid
shit.
as your friends?
I just stick him up to the house.
Right. Yes. Here's the thing. We haven't been down here yet. We've been told to stick to the town, so we're not really familiar with what our stations here are. If you could just point us in the direction, I'm sure we can figure it out from there.
Oh God, yeah. Go down, 2 planks down, turn right. You're gonna see the little furnace in the middle of the thing. It's the house that's on the right. Second
Right.
floor.
Absolutely banner soldier. Thank you.
All right, just get out of here and go report after, would you?
Of course.
Asford should be at the front of the village.
With the big glowy bits.
Look, I don't know what's going on, and to be honest, I'm just letting them do their thing, and as long as I get paid.
Right. Just the regular 9 to 5, eh?
That's right.
Cool, we're gonna go.
Is that even all right?
Yeah,
So-
you don't even know what that means, do you?
Arya's gonna give Jorah a shoulder check to her back, but not nearly as hard as the smack that she gave Cylon on their back. So
No wounds. All right.
no.
You will eventually arrive. So if you want to look at the map, you'll eventually arrive at this particular location. So I'll say you're somewhere off the map right now, kind of scoping the area. The house in question is this one. You see that they got kind of like a stove here or some sort of furnace to keep people warm in the area. There's supplies. There are road bridges that go up to that house, and then there's like a higher platform. There's a guard here, another bridge that comes down so you can go around here. And there's a couple of guards that are kind of miling around. And you're going to be going to that house. Now you have a couple options, which is one, you could try to sneak up there, or you could try to bluff your way up there. There are kind of guards at every approach. You don't know if there are guards inside or not, but there are guards at every approach. So you either have to sneak past them or bluff your way past them. So I'll let you decide what you would like to do with that.
I have a question. Whose house is it? Is it like someone from town that just a new house?
It's
that
a
they-
random half-destroyed house.
Okay.
That house was haunted before when it burned down.
Oh no.
Why would you open with that?
I don't know. It's nervous. It's my
It's like,
brother.
oh yeah, that's the prisoner keeping house. That's what it was called back in the day. So, what will it be?
Are we sneaking? Are we lying?
I'm not the best liar in the world. That's only going to keep working so often, so I would prefer to avoid doing it as much as possible.
I don't
And
think they'll
I'm
believe
the opposite. I don't like to sneak.
Uh-oh.
Happened in the
Well,
past.
before we all try to do one thing or the other, why don't we ask our master burglar here to go and see if that is in fact the place where the boy is being kept, says Arianthe. The rest of us can find another house too.
Yeah, hide out in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You all just scared. It's fine. I'll do this for you. I'll walk confidently away, with my hairy feet.
So, the rest of you, give me a group stealth roll just to see if you can manage to sort of stay out of trouble. Bring Falco on the board. You're not there, Falco, but I'm just putting you on the board for now.
Easy mode.
It's going to be a 13 for me with an 11
be
on
a-
the die.
A 12 for me.
10.
Right. So, Falco,
Good mediums. Good mediums.
you're approaching the house. So, as I said, there's a bunch of different guards around. You can take different approaches. You could like come in under the caves and climb up on the side of the house. You could go around. So there's a bunch of different things you can. I'm assuming you're not going to try to take out any of the guards, but do tell me if that's the way you want to go.
Oh, no. At least not. If someone notices me, mate, and I'm close enough, maybe. But I'm going to try to do this as not violently as possible.
Okay. So I will say that probably the best way you find to approach it will be to come in from behind that top house there and slip under the K here. And then come around here and wait for this guy to be looking somewhere else and then clamber up and try to get inside the house. Because the guy did say would be on the top floor, on the second floor.
Okay. Yeah. Let's go.
So why don't you go ahead and give me a stealth roll, and I will give the guard.
All right. That is an 18.
So as you're sneaking by, you're walking under the plank and you can hear him moving on top of you. And you're kind of waiting for him to walk away, and you kind of take a step forward and your foot, you feel the ice underneath start to crack a little bit. And it sounds like like a gunshot. You don't know what a gunshot is, but it sounds like a huge crack to you. It's probably not that loud, but it sounds like, and you stop. And you hear the footsteps on top of you stop. Then they come back. Then they stop. And then you hear more like water being poured out or something. Then you hear, oh yeah, it's better. Oh, yeah. Ooh. Oh, sure nippy out here. Back in, boys. And then you hear footsteps walking away again. You slip out. Give me acrobatics or athletics, whichever one you like, to scale the side of the house. If you intend to do it stealthily, toss another stealth roll.
Okay. Says I can add my dex modifier, my tree climber ability.
Yeah.
But I think I already would in acrobatics, wouldn't it? It's basically
Tree climbing. What does that give you? Tree climber. It'll be able to climb faster than normal. No longer costs you extra movement. In addition, you can add your extra modifier to strength. Oh yeah, so it's basically you can use athletics and thus add your dexterity
switch
modifier plus your strength modifier to athletics.
So it's just going to be a 21.
Well, just a
Oh.
21's pretty good.
And I'll obviously try to do it still.
All right, give me another stealthy.
That is a very good. That is a 24 as well. Or on top.
You climb up to the second floor, and as you're up there, you're seeing other guards that are like on elevated platforms, and that almost at any time could kind of turn towards you. So it's really kind of, you're in the middle of the day, so it's really kind of touch and go, and you're kind of trying to, you know, meld to the side of the house a little bit as you're walking with your big toe trying to find a hole, you know, a hold, and you're kind of trying to get to that opening on the side of the thing. From up here, you can also see that there's, you know, a lot of business going on, but you can see that there's movement, like people are moving a lot, and there's some people that seem to be coming back this way and whatnot, and you kind of feel like something's happening. You don't know what, but there's definitely like kind of, you know, something's on the move. You manage to kind of slip around and into the house, and the house has been mostly destroyed, and it's just like, you know, the wood is burnt and it's just water damaged at this point. It's just sort of terrible. But as you step in, you can see a little stove with some coal that's burning. You can see a bedroll, a lamp. You can see some books, a little, you know, a couple of things. And as you step in, you hear from behind you, "Drop your weapons! Drop your weapons! I'm going to just smack you upside the head with this thing. Drop your weapons now! I'm armed!"
Is it an annoying voice?
Yeah. And it's coming from about the same height as you.
Oh, you must be Jordan. Nice to meet ya. Are you old enough to smoke pipe weed? I haven't turned around yet. I don't know how old this kid is.
How do you know my name? Who are you? Who sent you? Are you here to kill me?
I
won't go easy.
You remind me of my family. My brother Jack. My sister Jill. Anyway, your sister Jorah and your brother Jordell sent me here along with some of my other friends to get you out of here. Do you want to leave or do you want to stay here?
Oh, well, I was just about to break out. It's okay, you can turn around. Let me see your face. See if you're telling the truth. You turn around and you see a mini Jordell. And he's currently clutching a fishing pole that he's holding up like it's a saber. And, you know, doesn't look like it could really hurt anyone. It's pretty flimsy. How do I know you're telling the truth? Anyone could have that information that you had.
Well, your other sister has me looking for a special necklace that some guy named Scarl has. Does that mean anything to you, Joris? Like your sister Joris?
Yeah, but if Sklar has it, he could have told you about it if you're with him.
That loser?
You say you know Jorah?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Jorah's not in town. Jorah's been gone for years.
Well, why
So
do
how
you
can
think
you
that
know
is?
her?
I met with her on the road. What more? Well, if once I get you out of here, and then
I don't trust you. This could be a trick. Trying to see what's my sister's favorite drink, if you know her so well.
Effenweiser? Effenweiser?
I don't know what that is, but it sounds like something she would drink.
we've made things together. We were thinking about making some meat at one point, but we've just made some Heffenweiser.
Answer this, and he kind of like really grabs hold of his fishing pole, and he looks like he's just ready. Answer this: is my sister a good singer?
Oh yeah. Oh man, yeah. She has roused the townsfolk to help get you back. She has convinced the elves to come and save your town, Lake Town.
You really don't know my sister, do you?
You
It's
don't know
very
your
sus.
sister.
All these things you're telling me, like, I'm not buying any of it. That's not my sister.
Yeah, what's your sister like?
Well, she's like, she's lazy, she's stupid, she's just like, just doesn't do anything. She's just like always messing around and trying to make stuff, and
Do you miss her?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Oh. What's her favorite song?
Oh, it's a fellowship song.
Does
that sound right?
Does love that song. She sings that song every opportunity she gets. Family reunion, she's singing. Funeral, she's singing. Freaking the house could be on fire and she'd be singing. She loves that song. Sticks in your ear too. All right. Well, like I said, I was about to break out anyways, so I can take you with me if you want.
Oh, absolutely. I would be honored to help Jordan of Joreth. I don't remember what your dad's name is. I'm sorry.
Maybe you are a spy. I'm kidding you. Let's get out of here.
All right, let's go.
Meanwhile, as you're about to leave, Falco, you hear a bell ringing very clearly throughout the village. Meanwhile, while that's going on, back at the house, a lot of you are kind of cramped into this little half-burned house. You lost Falco a little while ago. At some point, you thought a guard was going to see him, but he just relieved himself. You hope Falco didn't get micturated upon. You saw Falco very briefly as he went up the side of the house, and then you lost him, and then you're waiting and waiting and waiting.
I hate waiting.
At some point, after a little bit of time of sort of waiting, you hear a bell ringing out pretty clearly. Give me a perception check, everyone who's out there.
Perception.
It's gonna be a 29 on a net 20. Or sorry, 27.
And
Lower
that's
is
a
plus 9.
That's a 6 on a nat 1.
Yeah, high five.
That's going to be a 22.
You see, as that bell starts ringing, you see that there's a boat that's coming up, and there's a couple of guys that are running ahead of the boat, and they got axes, and they're kind of breaking the ice a little bit, and this boat's slipping through very slowly through that broken ice, and the ice has already kind of been broken because of what happened earlier. But that boat's slipping in, and on that boat there's something fairly big, and it's covered with a tarp right now. You can't tell what it is, but there's something fairly big. It takes up most of the space in the boat. And it's not a gigantic sailboat or anything. It's like, like a two-rower kind of thing. But there's something in it that's pretty big, that's pretty long, and like kind of sitting there, and there's a couple guys that are holding it. And it's covered with a tarp now, and it's kind of coming up the river towards sort of this area on the map. And as you're kind of craning your necks and sort of looking over, because your stealth roll earlier was pretty terrible, you're kind of, and suddenly two guards come around the corner and look at you and go, "The hell are you? What are you doing here?" At that particular moment, back up into the house as you're about to leave, the bell rings, and Jordan kind of puts a hand on you and stops and goes, "Oh, that's the third time it rings."
What happens when it rings?
"Well, I don't really know, but I heard their boss the other day. Earlier this morning, in fact, she came by. She has this really weird voice, like it's like two people talking at the same time. It's really weird, and one of them sounds like it's in a cavern somewhere. Anyways, it sounds really strange. But I heard her talking to some of her guys, and she told them to prepare the headless cross, that they would need it for the ritual, and to be prepared to bring it when the bell rings thrice.
Prepare to bring it. The bell.
And that's the third time the bell is rung.
So they're getting prepared to bring it. I want to poke my head out of the open house and try to make eye contact with somebody.
As you... Oh, with your gang?
Yeah, with my gang.
So you kind of look around, and you see the lot of them kind of crouching in the shadow of this house, and you see a couple of guards standing in front of them. Jordan taps you on the shoulder. Look it. And you see, pulling up just under where that rope bridge is, you see this little boat. It kind of comes up. They've broken the ice, and the boat sort of comes up. You see across the way, you notice someone new has joined them up on one of the over here on this this thing, and that person that has just joined them
Oh no.
looks like this. And as you watch, this boat pulls in. The ice has kind of been broken. This boat pulls in. There's a big crane there that starts to move and sort of come into position over where the boat is. And you can see the people on the boat starting to lift up this tarp that's over something that's kind of massive there. And the crane comes down very slowly. And you can't quite see what's going on because the boat's below the deck level. You can just kind of see the top of the heads of the guys. And as they remove the tarp and the crane comes down, they attach it, and it starts to come back up. You see, I'm going to change the map here. It's going to look a little bit weird, but you see rising up this giant sword that's about like 12 feet long that the crane is pulling out of the boat. And as you look, you can see that the sword is broken. There's about half the blade that's missing. And as they're pulling it out, you can see that there's this red color, this red sort of energy that's starting to kind of course through it. And when it comes along the side of the blade and hits the hilt, you see these sort of spheres of color and energy that start to spin around it. And as they're holding up this sword with this crane up in the air, and it's huge, it's like 12 feet tall and it's broken, you remember the sign that some of these guys had on their face, which was an inverted cross with 3 dots underneath it. And with that, my friends, we will take our break. We will take our break here, a few moments, restore ourselves, refresh ourselves, and then come back and try to figure out just who a 12-foot sword would be intended for.
Oh, more gosh.
I mean, it says it right on the picture.
No, it doesn't say who it's for. It says who it belongs to.
Okay, all right.
Which
fair
isn't good. Which isn't good.
enough.
All right, peeps, we're going to take a short break. I'll be back in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. More action to come. See you in a few minutes. See ya. So what he was doing with that sword was he would peel his apple with it, right? But you can imagine the size of the. Oh, hey, we're back. What's up, guys? Thanks very much for hanging out and joining us. Our friends here have just discovered what the Headless Cross is. It appears to be a gigantic 12-foot long sword that is broken, so imagine how big it was before. That certainly radiates a lot of evil. And in fact, I'm going to have our friend Falco here in a moment make a saving throw against Shadow. But we'll do that here momentarily. So you've managed to find Jordan, Falco. You're up in the house with Jordan. You're about to leave when the Headless Cross cultists bring this boat around and they start pulling this ginormous sword out of the boat. You can see across the way Asford's there. She looks very strange now. She's got this kind of sickly blue skin. And when you hear her voice, which you will in a minute, there's kind of like two voices speaking at the same time. And they're busy pulling the sword out of this boat with this huge crane. You do know from what Jordan has told you that the sword's important to the ritual. They need it after a third bell, which the third bell is wrong. So now they're preparing to bring this sword around. And in a second, also like go back and tell you kind of what you see and all that. Meanwhile, in one of the other homes in the back, hiding out are the rest of the group who have just been surprised. They've seen the boat go by, though they didn't see what was on it. And you've just been surprised by a couple of guards. So let's go back to that maybe first. A lot of you are there craning your necks, trying to see what's on the boat. When all of a sudden 2 guards step in front of you and go, "Who the hell are you? What are you doing here?" What would you like to do?
Yeah, prisoners. Heard the third bell ring, got inside, didn't know what was happening. This is a prisoner, and we were going to put them away and bring report to Asfrid about Lake Town.
What about Lake Town?
These prisoners here were causing a ruckus, trying to...
Yeah, hold on. And they kind of crane their necks and look over. And one's like, "Asford's here. It looks like it's happening." Yeah, and the other's like, "Really? Right now?" "Yeah, I guess they got the bones. All right, just get them back up into the house and then come and join us up at the front." The 2 guards turn around and start heading towards the area in front of the house where Falco is.
Well, that was
Elentil is kind of leaning out and looking at that. Is like, yeah, that's not good. Yeah, that's not good. Where's your friend?
He got into the house.
Yeah, I know. Is he coming back? Cause oh, that's not good.
What's
Simon
not
will
good?
wave up at the house.
You do notice Falco is kind of leaning out, trying to see you, and Falco, you see the 2 guards leave, and your friends kind of wave, but then you hear stuff coming at the front, and you sort of pull back and go to check what's going on in the front, and we'll do that in a second. Arianthe looks at Elentil and goes, "Well, what is that? What is it?" It's like, "Well, it's probably the Headless Cross, the whole thing that started this thing." And she says, "What the hell is that? I thought it was the name of the cult." It's like, "Yeah, but it's the first artifact that a group of us found that kind of started the whole thing." I mean, I don't even know what it is exactly. Most of us have never seen it. It was just sort of something people talked about, that they'd found this thing down south, and they said it was the most powerful artifact they'd ever found, and some people said it was a weapon of some sort. I don't know, but most of us, you had to commit, you had to kind of be brought in to know what it was, and I never did that, but I did ask around a little bit, and the only, I guess, rumor or word that circulated that kept coming back was that it was something tied to, and she says Sauron, and he's like, "Oh, no, Like, it's way older than that. It's way before the First War, Sauron's time, and all that. It's apparently some sort of artifact tied to some ancient thing called Morgoth, whatever it is. But the only thing I could ever find out about it was he's like Sauron, only worse back in the day, but a long, long, long time ago. But anyways, if that's the Headless Cross, if that's their most wholly significant item, and they brought it here, it's because they're serious, and whatever they're doing is probably going to happen pretty soon. I'm sorry, I don't know any more about it, but all I know is it's bound to be bad.
Do I know anything more about it?
Arianthe looks at you. You know more about the Headless Cross?
About Morgoth, I'm asking player to... If I could roll on that name.
Old lore.
I got old lore.
Very old lore.
Very specifically good at this exact thing.
Like,
Can I
ancient old lore.
also do it just for funsies? Just
Well, yeah, you're an elf.
yeah. But even though I have 0 old lore.
We like a 28, don't we?
Well,
Oh, I did get a 17 though.
Oh, there you go.
so with a 28, you've pretty much written the book on Morgoth. With 17, you'll know some of what it'll be familiar to you. You won't know as much as Hassan would, just because 28 is pretty impressive. But you would definitely have heard the name, and it would be familiar to you, and you would know that it's like an ancient being, one of the first primordial beings. And
Yeah, as soon as that name's said, then I look over to Silent.
Silent's got a book on their back that they don't pull out very often. It is the oldest book that they own and the most delicate, because it tells the tales of creation, as it were. Morgoth is, how should we say, maybe the first evil thing ever made. It was an Aenir, originally Melkor, he who rises in might in that language, created as one of the more powerful of the Holy Ones. Eventually, when Eru began the great music with the Aenir, Melkor sang the only discordant melody in it. And from there, from its very creation, evil was born of it. And participatory in many things, spent a lot of time exploring the void, looking for the imperishable flame, eventually gave way to shadow and became Morgoth, roughly translates to Black Foe of the World, and became the first and most powerful evil thing to ever exist in Middle-earth.
Basically, really, really, really bad.
Maybe the worst thing they could be trying to summon or gain power from.
That
Arianthe
sounds
kind of
like
turns and just
lose-lose.
stares at Elendil. He's like, I didn't take part in this shit. Sorry, Jory, you were gonna say.
Oh, just it's kind of the same response out loud. This is a lose-lose situation.
All right, so well, it looks like your friend has your brother. Maybe we can try and get closer and see if he's got him before we decide on what to do next. Let's try and creep closer. And as you guys start to kind of move, Elendil comes up to you, Sala, and goes, you carried that book with you? Like, you're not afraid that it's,
Knowledge isn't evil, friend.
No, but I'm saying you're not afraid no, that's not what I mean. I mean, you're not afraid to lose it, that it's going to get destroyed, that it's going to fall out of your backpack, that's going to, like, it seems like quite a thing to risk.
I never lost anything in my life. This stays as closely tied to me as I could keep it. If I could integrate it into my very mind, I would. But I can't let anyone else have this. It was mine from the get. It's the reason I'm doing all this.
Well, one, you have a lot more courage than I thought you did. But two, I've seen very good people be led astray by the wrong kind of knowledge, and you certainly seem to have a lot of discernment, and you're obviously way smarter than anyone I've ever met. But just be careful with this kind of knowledge. It has a way of worming its way into places that once it gets in there, it sets roots, and then it doesn't leave. And I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen firsthand with dozens and dozens of people that were basically good people that are now up there wearing masks and trying to raise the bones of some dragon and use this artifact from the thing that created evil. So I'm just saying there's a slippery slope there.
I don't believe in acquiring knowledge that way. I'm not, at least I don't think I would be willing to go as far as they're going for what seems to be power. I'd much rather know something than be something.
Just the way you described that book there for a second, how you wanted to integrate it into you.
Well, yeah, for the sake of keeping the knowledge of our creation and of our past safe, not for the purpose of resurrecting the most evil thing that ever lived, which I'll remind you, your group is doing as of current. No fault to you specifically about it, but, you know, a bit of due diligence on anyone's part in this cult might have been a bit forthcoming.
Would you let somebody else look at that book?
I would have to be with them at the point of viewing, and it would have to be in a secure location. But yes, knowledge is to be shared, friend. It's everybody's.
Well, I can tell it's very precious to you, but in any case, my words are just meant to be a friendly bit of advice.
Don't get me wrong, I appreciate it, but anybody who's fallen to the corruption of knowledge was not after the knowledge at all, ever.
Maybe.
A rash and dark justification for the acquisition of power.
Power comes in many forms, though. And to have knowledge to lord over others is a form of power.
I intend to lord over it. Going to open library, I think. Or at least that's one of the end goals. A place where people can come and learn all of this. Maybe someday we'll prevent it from happening entirely.
Laudable goal, my friend. Let's go get your friend.
Right.
Besides, yeah, Silent is great at giving life advice. You should ask him sometime.
Please don't.
I just asked him about how to deal with my family. It was great.
You were being silly. That's all that was.
He's just saying that. Don't worry. He's nervous. He's also too shy to take credit where credit is due.
No.
Him shy?
No.
No, I don't. I've not really known him to be shy. But it's fine. I think your family has much bigger problems right now than whatever this one elf scholar thinks of him. And so you'll slip out and try to get closer to the house. Up in the building itself, you're kind of transfixed, Falco, as you see them, as you first see Asford, and then you see this sword, and deep down in your core, you understand how dangerous and evil this thing is, but there's also a part of you that realizes that this has to be one of the single greatest treasures of the world.
Mhm.
Now, please give me a wisdom saving throw against shadow as you gaze upon this thing.
Yay. Nat 20 and a 4, so I'll take the nat 20, please.
Excellent. So you feel it kind of reaching out for you. You feel it call out to you. You do kind of wonder what it would be like to wield the kind of power that must be in this thing, even broken as it is. There's something ancient and primordial and eternal in there that is very, very fetching, but you kind of quickly sort of brush it away. When you look over to Jordan, though, you can tell that the kid is enraptured by this. His mouth is hanging open, his eyes are wide, and he's not even being careful. He's kind of leading out that open corner of the thing and just almost kind of physically reaching out for it.
Okay. Well, I want to say that I think the reason why I probably don't turn into do the same thing that he's doing is because I remember that look in Beryl's eyes before we were separated, and the kind of same kind of madness, and I'll definitely, probably a little too roughly, like pull the kid back from the edge and be like,
Did you see that thing?
Yeah.
How would you even wield that? It's just giant. It was like it would stack me on top of you, and we wouldn't even be that. Oh God, it was incredible. I have to see it again. And he starts kind of.
No. I'm gonna shake him a bit. We gotta focus. I know you're annoying, but we gotta focus, and we came here to get you out of here, and we might try to save Lake Town at the same time. Maybe not, but
Oh, God, you sound like my sister,
which one?
Jordis.
Okay. That's a good one, I think. Joris is great too, but okay.
All right,
I'll-
let's go.
Are you sneaky?
Am I sneaky? No, I'm really terrible at it, to be honest.
All right. I'll follow my lead, please.
I have this thing when I get nervous, I sneeze.
Oh gosh, I hate this. Maybe you should just stay here, and I'll clear the way, and then I'll make the.
No, I'm coming. I'm okay. I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
As you go to climb out the side of the house, you hear this voice that is ringing out, and you recognize what Jordan spoke about earlier, of the two voices kind of mixed together. And you hear Astrid talking to her troops, and she says, "The moment is almost upon us. We need to bring this to the front. The bones have been raised. Be careful. Do not drop it at the bottom of... Would you mind the sword?" And then, yes. And then they start. "Our time is almost at hand. We have almost..." And as she says that, you hear a bell that starts to ring repeatedly, but it sounds more kind of like an alarm bell. And all of you, including the other group downstairs, you hear something. The sound of a horn. And the sound of this horn fills you for the first time with a little bit of renewed hope as you recognize Ilfrith's horn being sounded. And as it sounds, it is being echoed and being answered by several other horns, which Silent and Arya would know as Elvish hunting horns that are responding to it. And suddenly you see a lot of the warriors in place start kind of looking up and start moving. You, Falco, will hear Astrid say, "Skrull, get that sword ready. We must bring it to the front." And she starts yelling orders and dispatching their soldiers. "We'll hold them back. We can't stop now. We're almost at the end point. Have the sword brought to the bones. We need its power to finish raising them." And with that, she climbs down the back of the scaffold that she was on, and sort of disappears, and you can see Sklar, striding forward on the deck as he starts yelling orders and telling the other guys, "All right, move it, hurry, we got to bring this forward." And he starts giving orders, and the guys are hurrying and getting ready to move the sword. You will grab Jordan and make your way down, and as you come down on the back, you will see the guy that was taking a leak earlier has kind of been knocked out, and he's lying on the ground, and you see your friends kind of hovering all around, looking up at the house and kind of trying to wonder maybe how to kind of scale that. And you come around the corner on the ledge and you make your way down. You hear a sneeze, achoo, and then Jorah, and then the kid just kind of starts moving. You see your brother has just seen you. He's got his fishing pole on the back. He starts trying to go faster. Falco, you're kind of in his way, so there's a kind of a little awkwardness there as he's trying to move. You're like, okay, calm down. Eventually, the lot of you will come down, and as soon as his feet hit the deck, he comes running towards Jorah, and he jumps up, into your arms and wraps his arms around you. I knew you'd come for me.
Of course, Jordan. You were always my favorite brother. And like she does the little big sister twirly thing with him because he's in his 10s.
You say that to all your brothers.
Well, I only have the 2.
It's true. I probably am your favorite. I'm the most interesting one.
By far. Have you seen Jordell lately?
Since he became master, like
Are
he
you
used to be
okay?
stick in the mud, but he's yeah, I'm fine.
The
It was difficult to tell if he was lying or not, because I kept asking him questions about you personally, and he kept lying, like saying you were a good singer and this, that, the other, and so
I should have taught him our secret handshake. That was my mistake.
that's what I was going for, but I didn't want to like be like, "Hey, did she teach you a secret?" Like, I was like kind of trying to lead him to it, but he was,
Yeah, it's not his fault. I'm sorry.
It's just terrible. Like, send somebody. No, I'm kidding. I'm very thankful. And he comes over and shakes your hands. I'll go.
Thank you.
Here, I want to thank you for saving me. I want to give you something. And he's got at his belt, he's got like looks like a little quiver. And he takes it and he opens it up and he pulls out of it this arrow, but it's not like a real arrow. It's like much bigger. It's maybe like about this long, and it's made of twisted wood it's like several branches of wood that have been twisted together, kind of melded together and then carved into the semblance of an arrow. And he offers that to you. It's like, here, I want you to have my black arrow. And Jorah, you know that this is something that ever since the attack on Lake Town when Bard killed Smog with the black arrow, that it's kind of become a thing where the kids are given, sometimes at like a certain point in time in their age, they're given one of these so that they never forget, sort of what happened and all of that. And it's it's a pretty big deal for him to do that. And he kind of hands it over to you, Falco. It's like, that's for Sophie. I mean, I was on my way out. I had my plan and I was going to escape anyways, but I really appreciate you coming in, even though you're pretty terrible at the whole secret handshake thing, but that's okay. That's Jorah's fault that she didn't teach you correctly. So, here, and he hands you the.
Wow. Thank you so much. This means a lot to me. I'm really happy that you were safe. And I want to keep you safe. And if this helps, thank you so much. I'll make eye contact.
Don't worry, I'm okay. And he pulls out his fishing cane. It's like, I'm okay. I've got my trusty cane.
Yes, but Jordan, I have a job that's even more important. You won't even need your fishing cane for this.
That sounds like a boring job.
It's important, though. You need to find Jordell and tell him what you've seen here. He doesn't know what's going on yet.
You have elves with you.
Yeah, he told you we were bringing them, didn't he?
He comes over and he looks up at Arya. Are you a real elf?
Yes.
His mouth's just like,
Does he think I'm a kid? I'm
I
27 years
realize
old.
he probably thinks you're, but he's like looking at you and he looks at Cylon. Elves.
Are we the first elves you've seen?
Yeah.
Jordan was always the one who said he was going to be an adventurer, but Mom and Dad keep saying he's not old enough yet.
I'm old enough. Look, I rescued, he points at Falk, I rescued him from this whole thing, and, you know, like, I think I've proven my mettle. Right?
And that's why I'm giving you this important job. You need to tell Jordell what we've seen here.
He's still kind of staring at Cylon and Arya.
You can talk to my friends later, Jordan.
I think
How did you become friends with elves? Meanwhile, you hear at the front of the city, you hear people screaming, war horns blaring. There's definitely like this huge, massive battle that's going on at the front of Old Esgaroth.
I
And
think
he's like,
Arya's gonna like bend down and say, "Oh, so you want to be an adventurer, right?"
well, you know, I always figured that I had what it took. And, you know, life in Lake Town's pretty boring. You know, there's nothing to do. I mean, fishing's fine, but then there's always chores, you know, like Jordis is like, oh, you got to go and get the barrels down. Says, oh, you got to go and get the flour. And then Jordell, he's like, oh, you got to go and help the other kids, you know, you got to clean up the market area, or you got to, you know, and there's always like a chore to do. And there's always something, and it's just like,
Well,
boring.
take it from one adventure to another, like pointing at him. If you do this task now, then maybe you can, the next time you have a quest, it might be a level up. This is like level 1. And then you just keep building from there, and you go to bigger and bigger adventures. But Lake Town's pretty exciting right now, so I would take advantage of it if you can.
Lake Town exciting?
I
I
mean,
mean, look at you. You're adventurers. You've seen the world. You've gone everywhere. You wouldn't stay in your homes, would you? You wouldn't stay at home, locked up in a room reading books or something boring like that all the time, right? You'd be out there like doing things and accomplishing things, right?
Well, sometimes there's stay ventures where you can do adventures a little closer to home. Like I said, this is level 1. If you can do this, then I think your parents will definitely think that you're ready for level 2.
Okay, I don't understand this whole level thing, but you know,
Easy,
yeah, you make
medium,
it sound
hard.
interesting.
I mean, Jordan, remember when I went out to go get herbs and now I came back and saved you?
That's true. You've been gone a pretty long time for someone who was going to get herbs.
Yeah, I have some stories to tell you, little brother, but they can all wait for when you have accomplished this first task, your first adventure.
All right, I'll do it. Lay it on me.
Can you go tell Jordell what you've seen
Oh.
here?
Yeah. All right. Looks at Falco. You coming with?
I should probably stay with them. I'm gonna trust you to. You're gonna be able to do this on your own, easy.
He leans over. He's like, I think they're just trying to get rid of us kids because they think it's too dangerous for us.
I'm 27 years old. Have you heard of hobbits?
I feel like that's a silly question, Falco. I don't think this kid has heard of anything except for bardings. No offense.
Yeah. I've been smoking this entire time. You haven't noticed.
Elves? Hobbits? Sure, you were never this interesting to attract such fun people. What's up with that?
Well, I just told them how cool my little brother was.
I don't buy that, but I think
Your
you might be my coolest sister.
your sister is one of the coolest people I have ever met.
Agreed.
Well, you don't get out much, do you?
No, I don't.
Oh, yeah,
That's true. Also.
explains a lot. All right. I'll do it.
Tell him about the bones. Tell him about the giant sword.
What bones?
Didn't hear them shouting about the giant. They're bringing a
Yeah,
big
but-
sword to a
He'll
bunch
know
of
what it
bones.
means. Just tell him
Yeah,
about the
tell-
boat.
Oh,
Tell him we were right.
all right. All right. I'll do it. Are you guys gonna be? You guys gonna be okay?
Yeah,
Don't
we're
worry,
just gonna
our
watch.
friends are the ones that sounded the horn.
Okay.
She points at Aelfrith.
He takes his fishing rod. He comes over to you, Jordan's like, "Here to protect you in case, you need to fight some of these guys." And it's not much, but it's seen me through a few scrapes.
And at that, she's stringing her family's bow, which he would recognize having been passed down for generations. And she says, I have mine. You'll need yours.
Dell's been looking for that.
Well, don't tell him.
What? You told me to tell him everything I saw here.
Up until the bones.
Okay.
All
How
right.
about I'll take out the sword that I got, this really fun, shiny sword. I'm going to say, hey, if you do this and you don't tell on Jorah, I will give you this sword. And
Is that
you know,
old man
it's-
Kugler's sword?
Please don't give a relic weapon to a child.
Well, maybe
I'm
I'll give it to you when
begging
you
you.
come back.
Especially when he recognizes it from a neighbor.
Say, never mind.
All right, look, I'll tell you what. I won't tell Dell you have it, but you got to show me how to shoot it.
Deal.
All right. Elves and hobbits? Jesus. All right. Puts his fishing rod on his back. You got this, Jordan. You got this, Jordan. You're good. All right. You sure you're going to be okay without me?
Of course. Just make sure you go with. Then
Uh,
she tells him where Jordell was going. Because I don't know where that is, but I assume she
Okay.
knows where that
Don't-
was.
Don't go out picking herbs again, all right? Not without saying goodbye.
I won't.
He comes
One
back.
more
with you
hug,
a
yeah.
Then he scampers off as he leaves. Waves at Paco. See you, buddy. Thanks again.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Bye. Aranthe's like, all right, now that that's over,
It was like
Yeah,
5
gosh, he
minutes to
got
talk
way
him
more
down.
annoying than he can talk.
Oh, he's cute.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on up front, but you seem to think that it's your friends, and those sound like elvish horns to me. I have to try and do something about this, but you're not beholden to it. If you want to go back to the town, I'll totally understand.
I would imagine that Asfred's got some sort of artifact of power that's going to help them complete the ritual, right? They
Seems like
must
it.
have something. So I think if
I'm with you. I'm waiting, but it's not going.
I think if we can get the thing from her that she needs and stall until the rest of them arrive,
It's
I think that'll
probably
be
that-
enough.
Whatever that thing was in the boat, that headless cross that Elentil said it was. I don't know what it is, but
It's a big sword.
The
Did you not
sword-
see it?
A sword?
Yeah, it's like
that thing
Uh,
was gigantic.
40 hobbit feet tall.
Hobbit feet, yeah, Hobbit
Yeah.
feet. That's what you're going with right now.
Yeah, I guess hobbit feet's probably even bigger, so maybe like 10 hobbit feet.
What's that in Elvish metric?
Uh, you'll, I don't know. Ask Silent. She knows. She's got this.
Arya's
Um,
got that calculating face on.
12.
I was never good at math.
Yeah, it's a big, like 12-foot broken sword. It's like
In
pulsing
what?
evil. It honestly, Jordan almost went over the edge of the house when he saw it. So I'm
Right,
glad he's
so
not
they
right here right now.
got a
How-
sword of Morgoth. Grand, absolutely banner time we're about to have.
Oh yeah, Morgoth. That's the name associated with the sword, I guess, Falco.
Oh, Falco, quick rundown. Morgoth, most evil thing ever created. That sword belonged to him. Okay, good. Caught up.
Now that we're caught up, do an insight check if you would. Salon.
Yeah, absolutely. That is going to put me inside. We're talking. It's going to be 21.
Your feeling is that they're obviously not going to equip. It's not about giving the sword to dragon. Your feeling is they're probably going to use the energy that's stored inside the sword to power the ritual that's going to raise the dragon, the necromantic ritual. So they probably really need that.
It's being hoisted by a crane. If we
And
can get
boats are fragile.
Wait,
right, yeah, you drop a sword on them.
idea. Okay, so it's a sword in a wooden boat, yes?
Correct.
Being pulled up by a wooden crane on ice. This might be a little, well, we're on this side, so it's fine. As long as we just don't have it in view of Lake Town, because that might be traumatic. What if we just set it all on fire and then it sinks back into the water?
We might almost be able to send the dragon back with it.
True, and or we could sink, because didn't they say that they have to move it up to the front? So we could sink it before it gets to the front.
Could work. Yeah, as long as we get the sword out of their hands, I think we've effectively helped them win this battle.
Does anybody have a quick way to make a lot of fire?
Silent looks at Falco.
I have some matches, but I'm not sure if that's enough.
And then, like, in Jorah's tingly backpack, she's like, I don't know if this would help. And she pulls out
Excellent.
The
hard liquor, maybe?
Hard liquor
For
would
the
be
first
excellent.
time, right, for the first time, it's not beer. She pulls out but 2 beautiful bottles of whiskey, and she kind of is sad, like, well, I was saving these, but...
we
Can Silent...
wait. We could make like fire arrows.
Yes.
We have multiple people that can shoot.
Fire arrows.
Silent
And throwing.
holds a hand out for one of the bottles.
And Jorah, like, almost worship-like, is like, Silent is taking alcohol and just...
And they'll pop the cork, rip a small strip of cloth from their robe, and we'll bunch it up, stuff it down into the bottle.
Before you bunch up, Ellen grabs you, and you're not even going to taste it first?
I don't drink. It inhibits the mental faculties.
Oh, go ahead.
She's got more. I'll tell you what, if we survive this, I'll have a sip at whatever party we throw to celebrate our victory, okay?
You heard it here. Everybody heard it here.
No.
And more inspirational than anything else, Jorah is like ready to go. She's like, yes, let's save town. We're gonna get Silent a party.
They stuff the cloth into the bottle, they tip it over so that alcohol coats the whole cloth. And Falco, if you would like this.
Try to strike a match. Do I have to roll to strike a match?
No, it's fine. You strike the match. So, okay. So look at the map. This is where you are. Tell me what you want to do before you get too far ahead in your planning. Just tell me what you want to do. You can see Sklar's down there. They're maneuvering the sword back down. He's got a bunch of those guys that are kind of coming down, or they look like they're going to carry it. They've got, ropes and stuff to kind of make a little makeshift carrying thing. And there's a number of guys still around that you can see on the map. So you are back behind that house. Tell me what you want to do.
This building on fire that your brother is no longer in? We'll start there and we'll move along.
If we could get their attentions away so that we could huck one of these at the train, I think that would be optimal, yeah.
And then there's plenty of like the old wood too. Could we could Arya take a arrow and maybe like stab a piece of old wood and then like pour some of the liquor on it to like light that and send that towards the boat?
You can definitely do that, for sure. Now, just an arrow lit on fire hitting the boat is probably not going to catch it on fire. I would
Yeah,
say
so
the houses will surely burn pretty well. The docking might be a bit more difficult because it gets wet, fairly regularly, but it might still be it's kind of frozen right now also, but it might still be able to catch it. There was a lot of
What are-
steam earlier from the ice moving, so I would say getting the houses on fire is probably feasible. Getting the lower decks on fire is probably going to be difficult. Probably doable. The boat and the crane and stuff like that, probably a little easier, depending where you hit it. But just throwing an arrow on fire is not going to do it because it needs still to be able to catch something, right?
Right.
yeah, so you said these buckets of supplies were by the boat. Can we
Mhm.
like knock some of that over and catch that on fire?
You can. It depends what's inside, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can
It's
we
a bag
tell
of
what's
flour. It's just
inside?
gonna.
Yeah, can we see that far? Can we tell with
You'd
my
have to come
elven
around.
eye?
Right now, there's the house between you and all of that.
Oh, that's fair.
So you need to sneak forward if you want to be able to see.
I can sneak up along one of the like higher catwalky spots and start, I don't know, pushing people into the water or cutting ankles or something.
There's that. There's the furnace that's in the center of the thing there also. That is probably filled with coal. Like if that was tipped over, it would probably eventually set something.
It would
If
be
you
a
had a way of
gunpowder.
getting a lot of fuel, if you had a way with an arrow or something to get a lot of fuel to the crane or something, you could probably set it on fire. But you would need a way to get the arrow to carry fuel up there.
Okay, we just so happen to have cloth that we could fill the cloth with liquor, tie it to the end of an arrow, and then light the top of the cloth to
Just
the
a piece
arrow.
of cloth, it's not really going to do it. Like you need to be able to get actual fluid there.
That was a joke.
Oh, okay.
Well, so I do have 3 flasks of oil for a lantern that should catch on fire, I would think. I kind of wonder if we need kind of 2 teams, like a team to kind of take out this crane, and maybe some of the weight of this will kind of help break the boat. And even if the boat just breaks, the goal is we don't want the sword going where it is. So bottom of the lake is fine too, right?
Yeah,
Right,
at
so
least for now. Yeah.
crane team, distraction team.
Yeah.
I mean, making these is pretty clear. I feel if you guys, if 2 of you, the stronger ones, I think either Aria and Falco. I don't know how strong you are, Jorah. I'm sorry. Can get close enough to the crane, you might just even be able to huck the bottles.
I will say that from the bottom of the deck, kind of where Sklar is in that area, you could probably throw something up there with if you have like more than like just a 10, 11, 12 strength, like if you have higher than that, you could probably get it up there. There's also that one rope bridge that goes all the way up there if you wanted.
I also just read in my gear that I have 3 flasks of oil too. So we have 6 flasks of oil, which is good.
We're gonna have to get closer.
Yeah.
If folks want to, I can try to sneak closer and start planting oil everywhere. But we
The
need to get
primer would be
closer.
good, yeah.
Yeah, tell me what you want to do here. I'm waiting on you.
If we want, I could start hucking bottles at the houses, just sort of see if I can get a distraction going, because silent's going to be pretty worthless otherwise.
You want to start hucking bottles? I'll try to use that distraction to start planting little flasks, like pouring it out on areas and getting
Right.
close to Sklar.
Yeah, and
Oh.
I guess I can either hang out with a bow and be ready to light stuff on fire, or I can try to confront Sklar if we think that's helpful.
Jorah, before I go, you should really have this. I think it should stay in the family. I'm gonna hand you the arrow that I was handed.
Thanks, Falco. I think Jordan really wanted you to have this, so if I don't need it, I'll give it back.
Okay. I don't know what's special about this, but okay, I'll take it back.
It's a long story, but I'll tell you after.
Sing it to me.
Right. So Ivy and Falco are on crane duty. Jorah's on support, and I'll just start burning buildings to the ground.
And Elenthal says, I can sneak around also.
Actually, I did have an idea. If you and Arianthe could take 2 flasks of oil and just spread them around the exits, we could eventually get Jorah to fire off a couple flame arrows and cut them off at the pass.
Sounds good. Let's do it. All right, so I would like you to take your token and move it to where you want to end up. Okay, and then we'll sort out how you get there from there. So Arianthe's going to kind of head this way to get some oil down over here, and he's going to try to kind of make his way out to here. Sort of thinks he's going to go around. He's going to go around behind that house and try to get up to there, and she's going to go down around here and try to get up to here.
Silent, did you say that I was doing, like, throwing stuff at a crane? Is that what you said?
Yeah, do what you do best. Swing your weapon, destroy crane,
Okay.
kill man if need.
Kill man.
Prove yourself, etc. I don't know.
Is Astrid still over there?
Nope, she
Okay.
She went to the front.
Is there a way to get to that platform?
Yeah, so this ramp goes up there.
Oh, I see, I
house.
see.
And then down here, the other one also, you can go up around there and then up there and then through this house. So
Okay.
there are those ways. And then you could probably climb from down there along this also if you wanted.
Cool. I think I'm gonna go from the same way that Arianthe is.
Okay.
But yeah, end up over here.
Try and end up there. Okay. And Salon and Jara. Jara, if you wanted to be a shooting place, the house might be a good place to climb up into.
'Cause
Yeah,
I can
house
just,
was good.
burn these 2 bad boys down. That may be enough distraction for you to get up there.
Yeah, we could do that. Otherwise, I was thinking here. So
Yeah, that's not bad too.
which do we like more? My only concern about the house is if like things go crazy, I then have to get out of the house.
Yeah, you would have to get out of a burning building.
So I think I'll stick there just for that. We know we're lighting things on fire, and I think that would factor into Jorah's process.
I think Silent will just end up in the vicinity of these 3 houses and can jump in if truly needed.
Question: what time of day is it, and what is the weather?
So it is about the middle of the day. It is winter weather, but it's not snowing right now or anything like that. It's just a kind of gray, overcast day. It's fairly cold.
Good to know. Good to know. Thank you.
There's a lot of moisture in the air because of the ice that melted earlier. So there's a lot of humidity and moisture in the air. Any other questions before we do this? Okay, so go ahead and roll initiative, and then I'll handle your actions sort of in order.
That's when I got a net 20.
Nice.
7.
10.
18.
Okay. All right. So, Jorah, you got 20,
23. Yep.
23. Cylon,
7.
Falco,
18.
Arya,
10.
15 for Arianthi, 17 for Elanthier, 14 for Sklar, and natural 20 for the thugs, but they can't do anything until they spot you. All right, Jorah, you're gonna try to get up there. I'm going to assume that you're not going to go around this way, or are you trying to go around this way, or are you going to kind of try to go there and maybe climb up? Basically, do you want to try to stealth your way around here or dealing with that guard, or do you want to go down there and try to climb up here?
Yeah, I guess I kind of do want to try to stealth the guard.
Okay, so go ahead. Like, all their attention is pretty much on the sword. Like, they're like kind of like Jordan a lot. They're like, so you kind of do have kind of an advantage there. So go ahead and give me a stealth check to see if you can bypass that guy. It's not going to be an advantage because you have nowhere to hide really, but it's not going to be at a disadvantage either since he's kind of focused on what's going on.
Okay, so that was a 12 plus a 2, so 14.
As you're moving up here, he looks over his shoulder and sees you and goes, "What the?" and draws a sword. Going down, Falco.
Hi.
So you're going all up the bridge and going across to there. Now, here's my question. Are you all going at the same time, or are the people that are staying back further letting the other people get ahead before they move?
That's a great question.
Yeah, I guess yes, I would have done that more than what I did, I guess.
No, not a problem. Your action's fine. We'll just take into account. So we'll say that these two can hopefully kind of get out there before you start moving. So go ahead, Falco. Give me your stealth check.
Oh, that's a nat 20 for 26.
All right, so excellent. So I will say, Falco, that you get up to the edge of the platform. So you're in the house, and you just have to hop out the window and you'll be on the platform, but you're kind of waiting for everybody else to get into position, but you've gotten there without attracting attention. Okay?
Awesome.
After that, we will go all the way down to Arya. Go ahead, and you're doing the same thing, so give me your stealth roll.
That is okay. 16.
Okay, so same thing. You kind of catch up to Falco, and you're on the edge there with Falco. All right. Cylon, I'm assuming you're not rolling any sort of stealth. You're just kind of going to wait for everyone to go forward and then going to go into position.
Yeah, they'll get into position and huck a Molotov cocktail at the center house.
All right, so as you're walking up here, give me a quick perception.
Absolutely. That is going to be 24, I think. 17 plus 7.
You notice that Jorah got spotted by the guard, and he's moving to block Jorah's way.
Well.
Okay. So well, keep it under your hat. So we've done all the movement. We're gonna go back down the initiative order now and take care of all the actions as we get to that. All right. So the first one is Jorah. So the thug turns around and sees you. Goes, "What are you doing there?" And he draws his sword and he's coming at you. What do you want to do? Turn your mic on.
That would help. Can I use this moment of surprise to sneak in a sort of sneaky attack? Like, oh, I got caught. Now there's a dagger in your face.
Sure, go for it.
Okay.
Basically, you want to use sneak attack. Is that what you're telling me?
I mean, it's Jorah. But yeah, she has sneak attack, and I got an 18 without my bonus, so 21.
All right, that hits. Give me some damage, and you can add the sneak attack to it.
Nice, thank you, my lord GM. Okay, so that one is gonna be D4. Ironically, my sneak damage is stronger than the dagger itself. Oh, I rolled really well though. That's an 8, 9 with my bonus.
All right, so that's a pretty good hit. You strike him. Ah, that's a pretty good hit. He's not down, but you got it. You got a pretty good chunk into him. He's going to retaliate because that's what he does for a living. In fact, he's going to hit a 16.
I believe that hits. Yes, it does.
You take 5 points of damage as his sword comes in and bites into you. Silon, you see this. You hear a bit of a commotion. You look, the guy gets stabbed, and then he strikes at Jorah with the sword. Going down, Falco, what are you doing?
I think I want to non-lethally beat up one of these thugs with my cool new sword, please.
Non-lethally, all right.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Oh, right. So it's a +1 to hit, plus my strength modifier or dex modifier.
If you're fighting with that sword, it would be a strength, yeah.
Ooh, that is an 11.
That will miss. For your information, when you have that sword drawn, 15 feet around you, you and your friendlies have a bonus equal to your charisma bonus to saves.
Oh. So that, I think, is a +2. +2.
All right, so you and Arya have that right now. Okay. All right, cool. So you clamber out, you come up behind this guy, you take a swing, and he moves at the last second, and you just sort of swing in midair. And he's like, what the hell? And he turns around, he sees you, he's going to pull his sword. This one's going to react, and he's going to come at you also. The first one's not going to be able to attack, but the second one will. That'll be a dirty 20 on the Falco.
That hits.
And that's a 5 points of damage on Falco as he comes in with a sword. You see this, Arya. What would you like to do? I think it's you next. Yep.
So, oh, you have both of them?
Yeah.
Kind of right there? Okay. I think, Arya is going to pop out and then let me... I think she's going to try to pull the same stuff that she tried with the trolls. Is just going to kind of like jump up and do like a swing of her sword, and as she's coming down to hit this guy on the side over here, this guy, she's going to use a bonus action to do the Gleam of Wrath, and the tip of this short sword just like emanates sunlight from it, hopefully maybe daze them a little bit, but is also gonna hit that guy.
Go for it.
Okay. Wah.
I don't really have a good fire.
That is a 21.
If anyone hits, give me some damage.
Okay. I feel like I'm missing something. With this short sword, I only have 1d6 damage. Is there supposed to be a plus to that? I was
Certainly.
trying to.
What's your dexterity bonus? 2.
Aha! That's what.
No, actually, it should be your strength bonus for damage, right?
Okay, so +1. Gotcha.
So
1d6 3, and then +1, so that's a 4.
Okay. All right. You have wounded Cylon.
Yeah.
Combat's going on upstairs. Jorah's in combat. Arianthi has set fire over here. I don't have a really good fire effect thing, but
No, that's good. I vibe with this.
yeah, she set fire down there.
Cut them off at the pass. That's what we wanted. I think Silence just like Jorah needs to get in position if she needs to do something or support our friends. So I'm gonna ask you to do something stupid, which feels weird for Silent, but I think they're very frantic right now. Can they do a shove attack on this man? Just sort of push him off the pier.
Just sort of kind of come running, and then
Yeah, hammer in hand.
let's go for it. I will say, give me a 2-hit roll with your dexterity bonus.
Okay. Just before, if I may, use my bonus action to rhymes of lore myself
Absolutely.
because I am not good at this.
And I will say you get an advantage though because he's already kind
Okay.
of in the midst of fighting with Jorah.
Delightful. So the D20 roll is going to be an 11. That'll bring me to 13. I'm gonna use the rhymes of lore die. That's going to bring me from a 13 to a 17.
That's pretty good. So give me a strength check.
Absolutely. I'm even worse at these. That's going to be a 16 on the die. -1 is
Wow.
15.
That's pretty good, actually. He's so surprised that he doesn't see you coming, and you come barging in, and you just kind of ram your body into him, like there's no real sort of tactic or anything. And he rolled a 13 on his strength check, so you actually managed to bump him off, and he falls up, and he falls through the ice as the ice cracks, and he goes down underneath the water. And you barely stop in time at the edge of the thing. Jorah, all you saw was Silent just come screaming by and just launch themselves bodily at this guard that was in front of you.
Well, now we just got to do that to the boat.
Right, yeah, I think they're working on it. I don't know if you noticed, but they're engaging. I just, you were in trouble, and we really need you up there. So,
And
I'm
it
proud
is
of you,
next
Silent.
your turn, so you can get up there.
Hooray.
What would
Yeah,
you like to do
so-
once you're up there?
Yeah, getting up there. Oh, okay. And pulling out the bow. And I guess the nerdy part of me really wants to know this winch system better, but I guess
It's definitely rope.
okay, it's rope. All right. So yeah, I guess can I light an arrow and try to break the rope?
You can. It's not going to be easy, but it's Lord
But
of
I
the Rings,
figure
so go
I
for
would
it.
basically aim for the winch part because the rope is coming out of the winch. I work with
Give it a
these in
shot.
my real job, so
Let's
I'm
give it a
hoping
shot.
that this
Give it a shot.
specific knowledge is helpful. I
even
will give
weakening it, I
shot.
think, will be good.
Okay, that wasn't a great roll. So 17.
$17.
17.
You're trying to hit a specific part.
I know.
Yeah, so it's a
Yes.
call chart. You have to roll with disadvantage.
Oh, disadvantage.
Yeah.
That's right. Actually,
Still 17.
oh no, it was only. I was like, wait, I have to do the math. It's only 2 less, so 15.
Okay, so 15 would be good enough anyways. So you shoot and you hit, and what you've done as the arrow barrier and stuff, you haven't broken it. I mean, the winch is made of metal and all that, but you've jammed the arrow in so that it doesn't work anymore. Like they're trying to pull the rope and the winch is jammed, so like the sword is only kind of partially out of the boat. So you've kind of jammed it there. They can't take it up any further right now.
And as the arrow burns, it'll start burning the rope.
Slowly.
Yeah.
Higher. Next up will be Falco upstairs.
Okay, I have a tactic. I want. Let me know if this is not going to work. I want to take a bonus action, disengage, run across the platform into the house across from me, and like in a kind of taunting method to try and get the guys to kind of turn around, or like try to follow me, get them away from the crane.
Okay. You can definitely do the disengage action and run up there. For the taunting, go ahead and give me. Let's call it a persuasion.
Okay.
Or an intimidation. Either would work, I guess.
That's 16 to persuade.
One rolled a 9, one rolled a 15. So both of them,
Ooh.
I will say that the one that rolled a 9 is going to actually kind of pursue you. The other one's just kind of going to turn around and see what you're doing. Kind of like, ugh.
What's happening? Okay, sweet.
Next up will be a Lantier who set fire up there, and now he's climbed up here and he's fighting these guys. And then Arianthe at 15 has come around and with her bow is going to take a shot at that guy up there. And that's a 19, so an arrow comes and pings the guy that you're fighting. Doesn't kill him, does the bit. So he's got a bit of an arrow in him. Arya, and you are next. Sklar is next. He kind of sees what's going on, and Sklar comes a stomping over here, and he's coming right at you, Cylon. It's like, you shouldn't have come here. He's got his axe out. It's like, you shouldn't have come here. He's big. And he's got this huge double-bearded axe.
I was very endeared by you briefly at the beginning of this, but if you're gonna be a moron, I don't think we can be pals.
Are you?
Okay. Did the bright sunlight do anything to this guy?
Well, he turned around and is looking at Falco. So he's, whether the light or whether that, he's not paying attention to you.
Okay, cool.
Either way.
So I'm just gonna
Lay into him?
if he's not paying attention to me, actually, I am going to use my surge of vigor then, and I can do a bonus action to disengage.
Mhm.
So I will.
You don't need to. You don't need to because he's not paying attention to you.
Oh, okay. Then never mind. I will keep that. Then I will just leave him and run over to the crane. And can I try to like sword slice the rope?
You can totally do that. In fact, you won't have to roll because it's kind of just right there. So you run up to the thing with your sword, bring it down, snap one of the ropes. The weight of the sword and the fact that it's kind of jammed, the other snaps the other one. The arm of the crane, you hear it creak and crack as it bends, and then the other rope snaps, and the sword goes down and falls through the boat. And as it does, it cuts down into the side of the boat. The boat starts to split in half as the blade is incredibly, it just falls in the water. As it hits the water starts to sizzle and boil all around it. The ice is melting at a rapid pace, and you can see the water's turning a little brackish, but the sword goes right through the boat, sinks down into the bottom of the lake. This guy goes into the drink along with that. So does that guy, as the boat just kind of collapses like this under the weight of this sword that falls down into the water. Well done. The sword falls down into the water.
Can I add a little elven flair? If I can, and if I need to roll for
Absolutely,
this, that's
go
fair.
for it. No, go for it.
When I slice the rope, I want to hold on to one side and kind of ride it, like do a Legolas move and kind of like ride it to where it puts me over here with these guys.
So I do believe you have a cultural trait that gives you an ability to get magical success, don't you?
Oh, yes. Let me remember which part it is.
Cultural trait. Level of finesse. Reaching level of finesse and if you are not miserable and make an ability check that lets you add your proficiency bonus, you can obtain a magical success. So do you have proficiency in acrobatics? You do, my friend. You have proficiency in acrobatics and in athletics. You can basically just tell me you would like to use your magical success, and it gives you an automatic natural 20. And
Hell
this is
yes.
exactly what this thing is meant for.
Oh,
So
perfect.
describe to me, please, what this looks like. As you slice this thing, you see that the arm of this thing is bending and snaps, and you see the rope, the last rope kind of go. What does this look like?
Yeah, I think she's just gonna kind of like literally hold on to one side, slice it, ride it up, make sure to let go of it before it hits the little like pulley thing so her hand doesn't get caught. And then yeah, is gonna do like just a few somersaults in the air and then land on the other side. I think just for some RA flair, she'll if you watch like the gymnast do like the vaulting, they land but maybe they have like a one leg like shake a little bit, so she kind of goes like a and then like just kind of balances herself and then is right there just like ready to fight those guys.
And it looks just like, it would have in the movie with that, if Legolas doing something like that. It looks effortless and magical is really what it looks like.
And as she's flying in the air, Jorah says, I can't wait to tell Teleron.
Yeah.
Where do you want to land?
I think there's good. I like there.
Donk. You land right there. Awesome. That was awesome. Sklar has run up. That was Arya Cylon. You see Sklar bearing down at you.
Is he in
His heart doesn't
engagement?
seem to be into it. Like he's like, oh, damn it, why did you have to come here?
You can stop now. We will tell the people that you yielded. You can go back to Lake Town.
It's too late now. We've done too much. We've come too far.
Turn around. It's not too late. We just put your sword in the lake.
And he kind of looks over, and you can see that he's really hesitating. You feel he's like,
We'll even tell them you helped. It's not too late.
You could still help. They need your help now.
They do need your help now. They're scared.
Arya likes a hero.
This town is better than the shadow you follow.
He turns around. He sees Arya. His face takes on this violent, sort of brutish glare, and he just starts charging right at you, Arya. His axe is up. Yeah, and it's just coming down. And he goes right past you, and he runs right into that first guy. And rams him with the double bearded axe, and the guy just fucking flies off, and then he's stepping up in front of that guy. Awesome.
Really gotta start assuming the value of attraction in scenarios like this. I feel like that's a variable I'm not taking very often.
Silent, this is why you need to read those books.
I've read the books, okay? I know you stuck them into my pile while we were sailing up here. I'm not against reading romance. It's different, okay? If I could just huck a Molotov cocktail in this thing.
Absolutely. You turn around, you lob the cocktail. That thing catches on fire. All right. So at the end of that round, you've accomplished what you wanted to do. And so since we're past our time already, you will manage. Falco, what was your plan there? What did you want to do with those guys? You just wanted to lure them in there, or did you have a plan?
It was mostly just to get them away from Arya so she could do the cool thing.
So as you go in there, you see them, they're kind of coming at you, but then the whole thing happens with the arm breaking and the sword falling, and they kind of both stop and look down, and then they look at each other and one's like, I'm getting out of here. And he like just jumps off this thing, and the other one kind of starts coming towards you again, and he's trying to find you. Give me a stealth roll.
Ooh, all right. That is 18.
And then he looks around, tries to find you, and then finds like, screw this, and he turns around and he runs off also with his buddy. perhaps to come back and gain vengeance on you later. Between Arianthe and a lot of you, you will dispose of the rest of these guys. Some of them will run away, seeing that the sword has now fallen through and is gone. Sklar will get rid of a couple of them also. And you're like, we got to get out of here. The entire place is going to burn eventually. And the other ones are going to come back. Let's
Which
hustle.
other ones?
The rest of them up front. There's another 30 or so.
Oh my! I severely underestimated their numbers. Oh no!
Let's hustle. Let's get out of here.
As we're running out, Jorah turns to Silent. Maybe read a book on tactics. How many people are in a fight?
What's on tactics?
You manage to run out of there. So eventually, you'll be able to kind of slip out. The guards are set around. You have no clue what's going on up front. There's some big battle that's going on in the front. You can hear the war horns blowing and kind of the fight. But as you're kind of running away, now, do you go towards the battle? Do you go towards town? What do you do?
Like best thing best, return to Lake Town, right?
Yeah, that's where we said we'd meet our mentors, I guess.
All right. So you will eventually make your way back throughout the city. As you're leaving, you can hear the fighting is kind of dying down at the front. You will head back towards Lake Town. When you arrive there, you will find the rest of the Headless Cross guys have been captured. They're all unmasked and they're tied. A number of them are dead. The people of the city are kind of holding them, and all of them are armed. They've stormed the guard shack and taken the weapons back and all that. You will see Revna there, sort of watching over the prisoners with some of the other armed men and women from the town. And Jordan is there with Jordell and Jordis, and your parents are there also, Joran. And Joran comes running up, to you and sort of jumps back up into your arms like, you're alive.
Well, of course, I've never broken a promise except for that one time.
Yeah. Your parents will come and your family will come and surround you. They'll tell you, your grandfather's not here because he's ill, but you can deal with that later. But they're very happy to see you. Eventually what's going to happen is maybe within the next hour or so, you're going to see people start arriving from Old Esgaroth, and you're going to know it. You're going to recognize your mentors, of course, are there. A number of the elves, Legolas and Caloran and whatnot, are with another group of elves, and they're advancing. A couple of them look like, they got some cuts and bruises, and they've been in a bit of a fight, but they're in a celebratory mood. As they approach, Elfrith will see that, you're up there, and will wave at you, and you will be able to meet with Elfrith and the rest of your mentors and your friends, sort of, up on the bridge that leads into town. Elfrith will go, "Oh dear, you're all alive. That's such a relief." And she'll hop down and come over and kind of give you a little, that little warriorly kind of handshake, half hug kind of thing. You made it.
You brought the elves.
Oh, we didn't bring the elves. We just ran into them. Apparently it was something about a song that convinced them to come out of their little wooden fortress.
Yeah, it was the Song of Hope you taught me.
I knew it'd come in handy someday. You'll see Falco, your Beryl will sort of saunter over. You'll see that she looks like she's doing a little bit better, like she's, got a little bit more bounce in her step than she used to have. There's still a little bit of that darkness kind of around, her eyes, but still looking a little bit more,
herself.
Yeah. And she'll come over and she'll say, Well, there, I would certainly expecting to find you with your feet up in a nice little pipe clenched between your lips. What's all this hooting and hollering about? You're turning into an adventurer.
Falco's face just slowly turns into like a big sobbing mess. He's just crying and he just is hugging. He'll just go hug Beryl and he's not saying anything until he says, I found a sword. Do you want the sword?
You hear from the back somewhere, hey, is that your sword? Gee, yeah, that's right, it's my sword. I've been looking everywhere for it.
Oh no.
No, sorry, we found it. It's ours.
Willoughby will saunter up to you, Jeet, and go, so, anything exciting happen?
Nothing more than usual.
Yeah. I guess we'll read about someday in one of your books.
You should be so lucky. Simon will hug him.
And Blair, from across the bridge, you see Teleron, who's in the midst of a discussion with Legolas and the captain of the elves, and he kind of, takes one look at you at some point and goes back to sort of talking with them, and eventually they shake hands, and he'll come over, and Legolas comes with him, and both of them will come up, and Teleron will say, "Are you?"
Teleron.
Glad to see you, Hale.
Yeah, it's been a mighty fine adventure.
That it has. I was speaking to Legolas here, and Captain Caleron. He said the lot of you acquitted yourselves quite well when you held counsel with them.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it was Jorah, but we all supported each other and were successful.
I believe the words that were used were very poised, and the word gravitas was thrown around, and something about a song, but
Should have heard it. It was beautiful.
so I'm told. And Legolas says, it was quite something. But a lot of you were great too. I certainly think that your friend would have had a little bit more of a tremor in her voice if she had not been as supported as she was by the rest of you. You certainly do. You certainly have a fine fellowship.
I agree. We're a good team. We work well together.
And Teleron will say, well done then.
Thank you.
In time, my friends, the rest of the village will gather around. They will start the process of sort of picking up the pieces, gathering the various prisoners, and getting the town fixed up. And your mentors and yourselves and some of the elves and whatnot will go to Old Esgaroth. You will find out that, unfortunately, the one known as Asford escaped. But however, they were able to stop what the group were doing. Most of the cultists appear to be dead. You see, when you arrive in Old Esgaroth to the front of the city, you can see that they've installed bilge pumps, and that they've pumped out the water, and they built retaining walls on the side. And so they were basically digging in the water and removing the water and allowing themselves to get to the bottom. And the lake's not very, very deep here, of course, but you can clearly see in the mud of the bottom of the lake, you can see gigantic white bones, most of them still very much embedded deeply, covered in seaweed and so on and so forth. Not seaweed because it's a lake, but covered in, whatever sort of flora would grow at the bottom of this lake. But you can clearly see in one part what looks like the occipital bone of a gigantic creature. Under the elves' guidance, this place will be buried again. It will be reflooded. Captain Caleron will say that he will speak to Lord Thranduil about trying to do something with the bones, either find a way to remove them or bury them deeper or something like that. And he promises that he will take the matter to Thranduil and return at some point with hopefully some sort of answer to this. He will also say that they will see about taking care of the sword, although Arianthe at this point will say that part of her job for Lord Círdan the Shipwright is to dispose of these types of artifacts. So if they're willing to provide some security to make sure that nobody else comes around, she will send for some people from her realm who are experts at disposing of this kind of thing, and eventually they will come here and they will see about taking care of the sword. You will spend some time, I would say probably some weeks, here in Lake Town, just sort of helping with the reconstruction, sort of sorting things out. I would like to know, just sort of briefly here, if you want to tell us what happens to your characters so in the next few weeks, and then what do they decide to do once things have kind of calmed down. And Yule time's coming soon. You can spend Yule here in Lake Town if you want, or you can, brave the winter and sort of travel out. But let's go around, and we'll start with JT here, just because it's the order on my screen. Give us an idea of what your character gets up to in the next few weeks or months, and sort of what happens to them.
So, I think first things first, Silent will help the record keeper sort of sort through everything and make sure that the town is being repaired as it was planned, and sort of help with repairs and the sort of technical aspects of things. And once all of this is done and we can properly sit down and relax and party, Silent would try a bottle of the booze that Jorah brews, and then would immediately insist to her, I don't think that I could rightfully, morally leave your side if this is the stuff you're brewing. You've got a lot of work to do. But
What do you mean? Do you
Well,
know
it's
anything
just
about brewing?
the ratios are all off. You've done the fermentation just a little incorrectly. I know a smidge about brewing, mostly all of it, or as much as there is to know at the moment. But
Malka, we have another co-brewer.
Oh, do we have to split the profits 3 ways?
no. I'm never in it for the money. I think mostly in it for the company. Jorah, if you ever decide to form your own fellowship, you make a mighty fine leader, and I would be happy to join you, for the record.
Well, Silent, you make every party more fun.
I appreciate the dishonesty for what it's worth. I know I'm not the most fun, but it's something I can work on.
Sometimes the most fun isn't the loudest fun.
Yeah.
And what of Jorah, since we're on the case?
Yeah, so Jorah reconnects with family, helps with the reconstruction, is brewing in the background, definitely in force when not helping with reconstruction. She's giving life back to the Hat and Feathers, the family inn, kind of processing her grief with her family as well from the loss of her grandmother, learning about and checking in with Grandpa, who's not doing so well, and after a time, depending on what her fellows are thinking, is interested in going to their homes. So perhaps this Yule we spend one winter at one of their places.
Yeah, nice, very nice. And then we'll go to Blair, who's next on my screen.
Okay, so if you guys remember episode 1, Arya wrote a letter to her sister, but has not had a chance to send it yet. I wrote the letter, and I don't know if we have time for me to read it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will say, just to have like the image in your head, it's like, it's probably like used to be like nicer parchment, but it's also been just kind of like in a backpack for a while. And then there's like a bulk of the letter on the front, and then if you turned it over, there's a little bit on the back. And then from the huge fight that we got into with the trolls and the Nazgul, Arya got a little messed up, so there is a whole blood smear on it because it was in her pocket, like right here. So the front part says, and the front part, the front part was written right after that kind of confrontation with Teleron. And so it says, "Dear Elwyn, I hope you're doing well. It's been a while since we talked. How's Bree? Is it exciting? I bet you have the most elaborate adventures every day, or at least almost every day. I'm writing you from Dorwindon, which might be a bit of a shock, but I actually made it out of Rivendell, my first quest. It's been fairly exciting up to this point. You see, I've been charged with the task of escorting a scholar by the name of Teleron. Do you remember him? He's downright awful. I'm sorry I sat here for a while trying to think of something nice to say, but I can't. Things were going rather well, I thought. I hadn't destroyed anything or got anyone lost, so it was all peachy. Until grumpy old Teleron told me that I wasn't a proper leader and had no business being out of Rivendell taking on missions such as this. You want to know the first thing I thought? Man, I wish Elwyn was here to give me some of her guidance. You see, you've always been so good at stuff like this. I try to be like you, you know. It seems so easy for you. I miss you a lot, and I wish I could visit Bree, but I might not be so lucky. Teleron has threatened that if I don't shape up, then he's sending a letter to our parents to get me sent back. But how do I shape up when I've just been being myself? You know, I try hard. I'm not really sure how to fix this, or me, but I'll try. I think, what would Elwyn do every day, and maybe that'll help. We'll see. If I get sent back to Rivendell, I'll send you a letter so you know. Be safe and don't do anything I wouldn't do, smiley face. Then the back of the letter was written after the Nazgul fight. And when she had, probably like when we were with the elves. And so it says, okay, so I have a moment. I just wanted to let you know, the blood on here, well, it's mine, but I'm okay, I promise. We just fought a Nazgul and some trolls, and that's like a big letters. I killed one of them all on my own, by the way, no lie. We're moving to Lake Town now, trying to intercept an army of the Headless Cross? ? Oh, you should know them. We met up with an elven lady that said she knew you. Arinthi was her name, I think. Isn't it crazy? We're kind of working on the same mission. Anyways, I'm okay, and I hope you're safe. I'm going to prove that I'm worthy of being out here on this quest. I'm going to make you and our parents proud. Just watch. And then a little bit at the bottom. Don't worry, I'll be by to visit you in Bree soon. You have to meet my friends, Silent, Jorah, and Falco. They're the best. Be safe and don't do anything I wouldn't do. Then, in this so many weeks, she wrote a little addendum, and it just at the end says, P.S. We saved Lake Town, and it was a great adventure. And she finds a way to somehow get that sent to her sister.
Lentil's going to be returning to Bree. You'll want to go back to his family for Yule so he can take it for you if you want.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, she'll give it to him. But yeah, she's been hanging on to that like the whole time. And then just
all grubby and messy, and yeah, that's great.
Yeah, probably like arrow to the blood and stuff, and it's just like, this is an explanation. I swear I'm okay. I wrote it, you know. But yeah, I think other than that, she's really just gonna be still trying to avoid Teleron as much as she can, but also making sure that his letter didn't get sent.
Yeah, he never makes mention of it again, and you never hear of it. So
Yes.
If
She
you ever
doesn't.
ask him about it, he'll say he lost it somewhere along the way, probably somewhere between the Nazguls and fighting the cult who was trying to raise a dragon. He lost it somewhere along the way.
Nice. She does not correct any of the shade she threw at Teleron in her letter at all. But yeah, I think she's just gonna hang out with her friends, help wherever she can help, and yeah, kind of like wait to hear what they say too. She doesn't. This is her first like quest, and it's pretty much over, so she doesn't really know what to do from here. She doesn't really want to go home. She just want to go to Bree at some point, but yeah, kind of just wants to stay with her friends. So
Awesome. Nice. Very nice. Good job with the letter. That was cool. And Falco,
Hi.
rock me Amadeus. What's up?
Okay.
What does
all
Falco
right.
get up to?
So in the short term, I think Falco really ingratiates himself in Jorah's family. He hangs out with Jordan. He makes booze with Jorah. Joris he's hanging out with. He probably has tried to frisk Carl, whatever.
Yeah.
I probably tried to frisk him at some point to
that
get
name
his
is gonna
knuckles.
kill me. There's this Scar. No, it's like Scar, but it's not Scar. Sklar. Yeah.
Trying to find the necklace. I don't know if that ever pans
Yeah,
out.
the necklace will come back. Basically, they used to be a thing, but then he turned kind of evil and whatnot. But he'll return the necklace at some point without being asked. And but it doesn't get patched up. He's gone too far to the dark side.
The redemption's not enough.
No, Jordan kind of likes you, but she likes your roguishness.
And my great beard. Yeah, what else? So yeah, I think Falco very much feels the same. I don't think he's ready for this adventure or this fellowship to be over. I don't know if Beryl is still kind of on the fence about continuing adventuring and stuff. I think he'll definitely be like, hey, why don't you just go live at my house in the Shire for a bit? It should be relaxing. You should get some good food, some good booze. Maybe you just need some to be re-energized.
Well, they're going to your friends, the mentors, are going to offer to stay here and guard the sword until the elves can come back and kind of take. So they'll be here easily into the spring. So you're welcome to stay with them, but they will also say at this point that they feel that you've more than earned the right, if you wish, to strike out on your own and seek your own adventure. Ilfrith says that she's pretty much, she's kind of done, kind of tired about all this. She kind of likes the Lake Town area. So after the elves have come back and dealt with the sword, she'll probably stay here. You see her hanging out with Revna a lot, and the two seem to have a lot in common, and kind of have found a companion or a like soul. So she's probably going to stay here. Beryl wants to go back home to the Blue Mountains now that she's not the Blue Mountains, sorry, to Erebor, since she's close and she's never been there, so she's going to want to go and do that. Teleron is more than happy to keep sort of going adventuring, and Willoughby also, and the two of them kind of get along, so they're going to continue and maybe sort of head south or keep plying their trade. And a lot of you are welcome to do your own thing or follow them. We don't have to answer that question right now, but those are some of the questions that will be put in front of you. So the options that you will have. You will spend a little bit of time here. The family, the Jorah's family, absolutely loves you, and they totally welcome you, Falco, into their homes. You find Cylon, there's quite a bit of interesting literature here. The Keeper records will show you some of the stuff they have, and they have like a lot of old records, especially a lot of records from the war. And these are things that you can copy and make and bring back and spread further down, because it happened over here. The information didn't necessarily spread all the way back, at least in detail. So you can certainly get some of that. Blair, as far as Arya goes, Teleron will never be really warm towards you, but he'll stop, kind of being as much of an ass, and he kind of just, kind of accepts you as you are now and sees that it's not that bad. And, he's, here or there, you'll catch him kind of talking about how impressed he was with what you guys did. So, he'll never be a nice guy, but he'll be tolerable at least, let's say.
That's fair. I will say, RA, whenever he leaves, RA will not join them. So
I thought that might be it. And Jorah, you will get to grieve with your family for your lost grandmother. Your grandfather will take a better turn. Certainly, some of the people you've brought here and the elves can help with that also. So he'll be okay. By the spring, he'll be up and about and doing better. And your brother will try to stop being master of Lake Town, but they won't let him. And so he's going to be stuck there, still temporary until somebody else steps up. But you kind of get the feeling he's probably going to be there for a while, and he seems to kind of take to the job a little bit better once the freaking cult leaves. And as you celebrate Yule and then sort of each get ready to go on to your own adventures or follow whatever path you wish to follow, we'll see what happens. I'll ask you a little later what you think sort of goes on. I was going to throw like a dark turn at it, but I'm not going to throw a dark turn at it. That's fine. The elves will come and find Morgoth's sword and will take it with them to be disposed of properly back home. So who knows what's going to happen to that sword in between now and then. And with that, the second battle of Lake Town of Esgaroth will be remembered for a long time as a battle where a group of heroes with a sudden and unexpected alliance of elves came down just in time to stop a powerful cult from doing something nasty. No one is really clear exactly what, but something nasty with the bones of Smaug and some ancient relic of Morgoth. And at least the people around here will remember that someone somewhere along the way also took the time to save Jordan. And, well, if you can't save the smallest and, weakest amongst us, what's the use of saving the others? So at least the people around here will remember what you did. And even though it will not go down into the books of history, the people who matter, the friends and the families will know what you did. So thank you very much. Congratulations. Thank you very much for coming on this little jaunt with us here. I'm sorry it's late. It always ends up that way, unfortunately, with the last games. But here we are. It was very wonderful. So because it is late, let's go around quickly, tell people where they can find you, who you are, what's going on. I greatly appreciate you having taken the time to come and play. You were all absolutely wonderful, absolutely fantastic. And we will see what happens with these characters at a later date. Hope you had a good time. I know I did. So I will give you the floor, and we will start with JT.
Hi everybody. I'm JT. My pronouns they them. You can find me all over the internet at Weebjeets, Twitter, Blue Sky, Discord, Itch, wherever you want to find me. You can find me there. Tonight I was Siler the Elven Scholar. Very delightful role. Very happy to be here. As for what I've got coming up, just real fast, rapid fire. Tuesdays for the entire month, I'll be on Neolite's Roleplay playing Lancer as Orpheus, an NHP who just wants to help people. Every other Wednesday from yesterday, I will be running Beacons of Farlight over on High Shelf Collective. That's been very fun so far. And then on Sunday, I think the 22nd, we'll be back on Lost Caravan with the second episode of our second season of Nova. And you can find me on the 23rd, I think either here or on Bleak's channel. I don't know exactly where we're going to put the...
Bluebeard?
Yeah.
We'll be here on...
It'll be here.
Gilspear, yeah.
Yep, you can find me back here on the 23rd, playing a game run by one of the very people here. Hard to say who, I haven't been told. And then on the 30th, the following Monday, I will be in a game run by Bleak as well, over on Lost Caravan. Very exciting. That's all I got.
Little vase in action. Thank you
Little
so much,
vasey.
JT. You were a pleasure to play with, and I look forward to doing it again. Both in that other game, who you don't know who the GM is, and Vason on Caravan. Thanks so much, and maybe American Gods, things like that later on. Next up, we have Blair of the Bears.
Yes. Hi, I'm Blair, otherwise known as Canadian Moose. I'm gonna grab my bear.
No.
I've been playing REA, and this has been so fantastic. Oh my gosh. Actually, like a dream of mine to play in like Lord of the Rings games. So I am down for any and all time to play in Middle Earth. So yeah, this has been fantastic. Thank you so much for inviting me to this. But yeah, I don't have too much going on in October. I think I only have 2 games. I am over on High Shelf Collective. I'm wearing the merch right now, High Shelf Collective. On the
Quality stuff.
21st, yeah, on the 21st we have another Mass Effect game. Keep an eye on the socials, because it kind of, we're at the end, but we have a lot of schedule conflicts, so it just kind of pops up whenever it can. Pretty sure it's on the 21st this time. And then the 22nd for more Nova over on Lost Caravan. Other than that, definitely check out High Shelf Collective. We have a bunch of new series that just dropped, like Beacons of Farlight, which is fantastic, and a Die RPG game, a Wild Sea game, and actually tonight just premiered a Marvel Multiverse actual play.
Ooh.
So that's pretty cool as well. And I think we're going to have even more stuff coming up in October for Spooky Month. So yeah, even though I might not be in stuff, go check all that stuff out. This has been fantastic.
Amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you for coming and for bringing your bears. Very
Yeah.
I have to get one now.
Yes.
Annika, the master brewer, master singer.
Brewing up a storm in the
That's
virtual world and the real world.
I'm bringing up that
Um,
awesome pun that you were sitting on for a while there, the cool ale.
Yeah. Yeah, for certain characters, sometimes I just have lists of things where I'm like, if you can sneak this in, and that was one of them. But yeah, tonight I was playing Jorah, a barding who found her place on the trail, even though she never thought she would. And it was very heartwarming. And I'm on socials as Anine Wanders. You can pick your poison in that world and run with that. But as far as the streaming world is concerned, tomorrow night you can find me on La Not Eterna, where my character who's a sunbeam kind of in a dark place with no sun. And that will be through this month basically. And then over on Wanderer's Haven, we have not finalized details or dates yet, but the teaser for that I will say is just make sure you know who you're going to call. And then I know I've been talking about the Obojima one shot that I'm going to be GMing. We were looking at the 23rd, but actually all of our friends, some of them in this room, are doing so many awesome things on the 23rd that we're looking at rescheduling just to make sure everyone can enjoy those things without FOMO. And so keep your ears peeled for that if you want to know about Legend of Zelda and Studio Ghibli merger. But yes, thank you so much. This was so heartwarming and beautiful.
Awesome. I can't believe none of you thought of using the wooden arrow to light stuff up, but it would have been kind of heartbreaking for the family, I guess.
Were you trying to hint at that? Is that what you were trying to say when we were talking about like shooting fire?
I tried, but it didn't catch. But these things happen. It didn't catch. Get it?
I like how we missed that, but we get dragon summoning.
That was because you called the dragon like last session. At the end of last session, when everyone was talking, you're like, what if they're trying to raise the dragon? They wouldn't do that, would they?
Oh.
I was like, haha. Plan has been found. Thanks so much, Annika. And last but not least, we have the K.
Hi, how are you?
What's up?
Did you have a good game?
Yeah, a lot of fun. You?
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. I guess quick stuff. My name is Kate, or Caden Cosmos. That's where you can find me in most places. I played Falco Bunsbaggins tonight. A little hobbit who I think has found a bit of a home. And you can find me, here on Guild Superior on October 23rd at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Bluebeard's Bride one shot. And then also I'm doing trivia on my own now at Fat Cat Trivia on Patreon. My first games are going to be on Saturday, October 14th and Monday, October 16th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as well. So if you're interested in that, I will be posting links for free people. So you can just click on them and come join.
Nice. Excellent. Thanks so much. I look forward to your Bluebeard's Bride game. And we'll do that soon. Thank you very much, Kay, for being here. Always a lot of fun. As far as the rest of us go, we are on break guild-wide next week. We're taking a break from all of our regular games, prepping for a big fundraiser we got coming up in November. But in the meantime, you can find me on Monday on Wanderer's Haven doing a second of a two-part Dragonbane game with a bunch of clowns. That's been a lot of fun. You can find right here on Sunday, DM Dave doing Frostfang Fury, a 5e game for virtual Greyhawk Con. That's going on this weekend. I myself am playing in 2 games, one tomorrow night, one Saturday night over on Blue Box. So it'll be on Blue Box playing tomorrow and Saturday night for virtual Greyhawk Con. We love the Greyhawk community over here. A lot of great people in there. And I guess that's about it. We're coming back next Thursday. We're not here. We're starting a Shadowrun game after that, so the Thursday after for our Thursday games, and then we're going to have the return of Heroes of Greyhawk and our fundraiser in November, which we'll tell you more about in a week or so. I have been Bleakseason. My producer has been Andy G3D. Thank you very much, Andy. And my players have been absolutely awesome. This has been the Headless Cross Saga. We are out. We are going to raid a good friend of ours, good friend Darling Creep Show. Please hang out and give Creep some love. Give yourself some love too, because that's important. Love yourself as you would have others love you, and love them as you would have them love you. Big love fest. Hey, it's been a blast playing Lord of the Rings, playing with everyone. Thanks so much for watching, hanging out. We'll see you around. Ciao. Oh, you're right there, Kay?